Okay. Hello, everyone. Welcome back. Welcome back. Let me see where the audio is. All right. Can anyone speak for me? Let's see.
Hello.
Oh,
Hello,
perfect.
everyone. Welcome back to Live Reads.
Welcome
The
back.
delay
welcome
is
back.
all my fault.
Wow. Thanks for taking
Yeah,
the
Connor,
heat.
why would you do that?
You got busy.
Took that shot like a champ.
Yeah, I'll fucking take it. Thanks, man. Great. How's everyone doing today? Welcome back to the live reads. We are now starting on Arc 4 because the leftover part of Arc 2 and all of Arc 3 has not been translated. So we're just going to skip ahead. But I hope that's okay with everybody. How is our cast doing? We'll introduce who's here momentarily.
Good.
Woo!
Happy to
Doing
be
all
back.
Woohoo.
I've missed doing these.
We're so back.
We're so back.
Yeah.
Great. Okay, let's go top to bottom. Who's here? We're going alphabetical order in our Discord chat. So we'll start with Al number 1 Stan all the way down to Zash. Take it away, Al.
Hi. I'm the Al number 1 stan. That's all you need to know about me. I'm the number 1 stan. No matter what happens. Hey,
I might have some words for you later then.
hey, I'm caught up too. Don't worry.
None of us are.
I'm Connor of Palizard. I did the translations for these before when there was reference material. Do Julius and Kiritaka for the main Arc 5 reads, podcast host, all around just general person who's there when he needs to be there.
Literally the man who got himself in the door and has made himself absolutely like the number 1 most helpful person. Thank you. And take shots as well.
Yes.
I'm Kyle's. You know me. I'm Amelia.
Imagine if someone
Next!
didn't.
That'd be.
This is the first thing they've ever seen. Only interested in Arc 4.
I would look like an asshole right now.
You know who I am.
Your turn, Skura.
Oh, sorry. I'm Skura. I'm an audio editor, and I'm narrating one chapter here for moral support.
Yay!
Okay, hello everybody. I am Tealdi. I voice Krush and do a lot of narrating.
Yes, you do.
So much.
Fan favorite for the live reads too.
Uh-huh.
Hello everyone. I am Wolf, and I voice Subaru and Wolfiana in some of the Arc 5 stuff. I'm here today to say many lines that are going to make me look very, very silly.
Yay! Last but not least, Zash.
Hi, I'm Zash. I'm a narrator for upcoming arcs, so I'm just here to help out.
Yay! Let's go. This is our team today. If anybody in Studio Reverie wants to join throughout, you totally can. If we are reading a chapter, just silently join and just wait, and we can always give you a role in the next chapter. Let's pull up the actual arc itself. I don't even know if there's an ebook version of it or how it looks. I haven't looked myself, so it might look completely different from it looks different from Arc 5.
It explicitly and exclusively exists as a giant PDF.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah.
Oh, frick.
it's
no.
one big PDF.
Here we
I
go.
was looking
it's
this
one
morning to see if I
PDF.
could get like just the question marks erased or anything else, and if you didn't know, PDFs don't like copy paste very much.
Oh, no, they don't.
Yeah.
Thankfully, that will be less of a problem when we jump to the Arc 6 stuff. But for here, we kind of just have to skim through it and accept some scuff as it comes.
Yes,
There
forgive
there
me.
definitely is some scuff in these chapters.
And rely on just memory on who's probably in this chapter. Have people on call and ready to jump in.
Arc 4. Oh, yeah. How does Season 2 even start again? Like, I'm so behind.
Season 2
It
starts
starts-
with the Arc 3 interludes,
Yes.
with the Who's
yeah.
Rem incident.
Should we start with that, then? Are we cool with that? Or we could just go... I mean, I would love to forget that we forgot Rem, but
I was going to ask, are you wanting to go through that trauma, or are you looking for another chance to voice Rem?
both. A glutton for
I mean, I don't know
punishment.
if you're gonna be able to voice her.
That's fine. Okay, well, let's get a poll. Who would like to just go straight into chapter 1? And then who would like to go from the interlude? We'll put a little poll in our staff general chat.
From 0.
From 0.
From 0.
You don't think I have Rem on standby at all times?
Oh, the first interlude is actually a ton of the beginning of what became the Remif as well.
Yeah,
Oh.
yeah.
Wild.
Oh, yes, that's right.
All right, I made it really tiny. So sorry. View more. I need the blue heart.
So it looks like the interludes have about 50 pages between all of them. So it doesn't seem like the most, but that would probably be the whole stream to
I
go
was
through
about
them.
to say,
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be pretty long.
Ooh, we are neck and neck. We are 3-2. I'm fine with chapter 1. I'll put my vote into 1, so we'll add a +1 each time. La 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 la. Greenie says must do interlude in my opinion. All right, chat. What are you feeling too?
Oh my god, it's real. I can't believe it's it.
Welcome in, everybody. Welcome back. Welcome back. So good to be back. Actually,
back.
while we're doing this, we might as well, because we haven't had the cast here to talk about what our plan is for our anniversary stream. We just kind of threw it at you, as we do. But for our anniversary stream, March 15th, we are going to start with the Arc 6 live recordings. What we're going to do with that is we're going to do just like we do with the Arc 4 lives, where we record live. But then, since we're not going to have music or anything, if any of our voice actors have any audio glitches or someone has to sub out briefly because something happens, we can just take their audio and replace it at the end. And then for our final release of the chapter, it'll be fully edited, mixed, like visuals, everything. So those of you who are really excited for Arc 6, get it sooner. For our cast that can't do live reads anymore, they get extra time to work on their lines without feeling all that pressure. We are so lucky to get Allie back as Anastasia because of that. And the rest of our cast has come back as well. We're very, very fortunate. And yeah, it'll just be a lot of fun. So I hope that's okay with our cast. I hope that's okay with our community. You guys keep us posted, but it'll be fun.
Tied 4-4 on the poll.
Frick.
I mean, it's +1 you said for pink, right?
+1 for pink. Everyone's screaming for interludes, too, in the chat. Okay.
Yeah, you know what? We're not going to get Rem for an indeterminate amount of time.
That's
Let's do it.
Okay. Connor, you have the upload that's the interludes?
Correct. Yes.
Okay. Everyone
Let
use
me
Connor's.
briefly run through this and see who we need.
Okay. I will, I'll edit our title. I'll fix our thumbnail later.
the thumbnail.
Interludes. AJ!
It'll
Boom.
be Arc 3 interludes.
Oh, fuck.
Yes, they are. It's the Arc 3 interludes.
Just making sure, because other people will be very confused.
Let's hope it didn't end the stream there. Didn't think that far ahead, did I? Oh, no, we're good.
Nah, we chillin'.
Yes, that's right, Sean. Allie is back. We were able to get her back. We also have, we have so many. I know Tealdi is coming back with us, as well as Kiki. We have Drad on as Patrash and other forms of ground dragons. Myself and Wolf, Connor, Golds. We have Solar playing Petra. I'm trying to think, who else did we get? Pat is coming back. Tayaldi's coming back to play a certain character.
Woo!
Common's coming back to play a certain character. We have some new staff as well, taking on new roles. We have Farron we're introducing. Oh my gosh. And then we have so
Fate.
many narrators to introduce. We have Fate coming back as well as a new character. That reminds me, I need to message her. She will not be doing the live reads, that's a guarantee. I know she would not, but she will definitely be doing the final recorded version. So yay!
Oops.
Okay.
All right, read through the whole thing. This
Wow.
should be the character list needed for the first interlude.
Whoa, we got them too. Whoa. Okay, well.
Yeah, it kind of just jumps there.
Yeah.
Like,
Subaru
just kind
Amelia.
of randomly.
Oh,
Well, Tayaldi, I'll offer you. Would you like to be Rem?
Can try.
Try.
Fighting for the role of Rem.
I feel like Amelia's gonna
Yeah.
have a lot of lines, and then there's
Yeah.
Petra and 2 other little kids. So
In the interludes, I don't think
No.
that's true.
yeah.
the interlude. What?
So the
How
interludes
old are
are
these 2?
like 11 and less than 1.
Okay.
The interludes cover like most of the first episode of season 2. So starting on the cart where we get like the Who's Rem moment, and then going back, I don't know if we get the fight in them, but a lot of it's still like right before Arc 4 begins. So we have a ton of who we'll need for the rest of Arc 4, or not the rest of Arc 4, the rest of this stream, like Krush, Felix, and Wilhelm, Subaru, Amelia, Petra. But I don't know how much Amelia actually talks through these.
Okay. Okay, sweet.
She talks somewhat in the first interlude and in the last one, I think.
Oh, perfect. Okay, so that's just interlude 1 we're seeing.
This list is just for interlude 1. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. The second interlude, I think, has the actual carriage confrontation.
That's the kids. So this goes into Remeth.
Yeah,
It does.
The first interlude here is what eventually spawned the Slothif, which then spawned the Remif.
Okay. And then the third seems to be... Oh, okay, yeah. Tailda, you might not want to be Rem. You're going to be talking to yourself.
Hey, you know what? Sometimes I've done that many times. Back when I was doing the
Schizophrenia
Overlord
stream.
narrations.
Okay, I'll fight back.
Wait, didn't you like have to narrate every character for one of them at some point?
Oh, when I first started out for like the first year and a half, 2 years, it was just me
Oh my god.
doing everything.
That's
So I had to
crazy.
go from being narrator to being really thirsty Albedo to being Einzul Goon. And it just kept rolling. And then I had to make up voices for like random guard number 4 and everything. It was like, oh my gosh.
That's a lot of work.
Yeah, it used to take forever.
I salute you.
Okay, well.
Bollocks.
Well, we're not going to make you do that again because we made you do so much. We made you do one of the worst chapters in Arc 6 as well. I'm so sorry. Gonna make
Oh,
you do
no.
it again. All right, well then I will be. I'll claim Rem and Amelia. I'll fight it
Okay.
because
Because God knows they're not going to be talking on the same screen.
yeah, Rem and Krush have like whole ass dialogue coming up. That's crazy.
Yeah. So it's like, oh boy, remember whose voice is which?
Well, Subaru, Amelia. Okay, who wants to play Petra? Any takers?
I would.
I
take
was
her if
going
I
to-
wasn't speaking to her.
Yeah, I was going to volunteer for Rigel. I can do
Oh, yeah.
Petra if you give me a minute to fix my voice up.
Hell yeah!
You gotta lock in.
I mean, I did ROM for these before. I'm
Oh,
fine
yeah.
doing girls.
Sister. Well, would anybody like to make baby noises? If not, I'll do it.
You got this, Al #1 fan.
I don't
Yes!
think I got this.
Let's go.
Just
Ow!
squeak.
You gotta believe in yourself. You got it.
I don't know.
And who would like to volunteer as narrator?
I'll be fine doing the
I'll do it.
narration.
I can do narrator, or you
I can do narrator too.
Okay, here, let's see. Okay,
Because I know I'm not in this first one, so I
Yeah.
can narrate the
Yes.
first interlude.
so let's do
True.
Taildy first. Al, #1 Stan, let's do second. And Zash, you want to take us up with the third?
Sure.
Okay. I'll write that down.
Write that down. Write that down.
Write that shit down.
That does leave the question of who's the baby, though.
If you don't want to, I'll do it. I'll just
Okay.
make myself sound like a goat.
I can do baby if
Ah.
you need to tag out.
Yes, please. Do it up.
I got it.
All right, we are
Hey, guys.
lined up. Hello, welcome
right.
in, Unseen Hand.
Hey.
Yes, you can
Hi.
definitely be Regu.
Ah, so sweet. Okay. Yeah, just thank you. Just ping me when the chapter comes. Yeah,
Okay,
I'll get some water
Yeah.
after.
Royalties.
For sure.
Oh, we have one good question from Manuel before we keep going. Hollow has moved on with Nikkei content. We have invited him back for discussions for Arc 6. We don't know how he's feeling about it, but the ending of Holographic and his channel getting shut down really affected him. So that's why he's not here as much anymore, but he still sends his love and regards. But you can catch him as Pyrex, and he's on Twitch, and he's doing really well. He actually is interviewing Kaylee Mills in a few days. He's doing really well. So you guys check him out. In fact, let me plug him real quick before we get started.
I don't think I ever connected that was Hollow.
Oh, I should have told ya. Yes, that's him. Once you hear
That's
him talk,
crazy.
you can't forget. It's that same voice.
Hey guys.
Hello, guys. Welcome back to the ReZero.
Hello, chat.
Just
There we go.
real quick, is there like a static white noise coming in for anyone else, or is that my audio?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, there is.
I do
Okay,
not know
I-
where it is coming from.
Yeah, I can't see it. I thought it was unseen for a second, but he's
No?
muted.
It's at the end of the world.
Well, it's more just confusing as to where it's coming from. We're all hearing it.
Yeah.
All right, everybody,
Huh.
check your mics. Make sure the wires are in and the USB cable is plugged in as well. I'm checking mine.
Because I'm not seeing, like, green from anyone's,
No.
like, mic
More,
in Discord.
more importantly,
Mine's-
chat,
mine's
can
not.
you hear it? Because if not, then it's not too much of a problem. We'll give
If
them
it's
a
just, like,
second
our
to update.
combined schizophrenia.
Mass hysteria.
Oh, who left us?
Who left?
It was unseen.
Yeah.
Oh no,
That's weird.
Unseen. It might be. Maybe he just had some interesting connection with it. Oh, hey, there we
Okay.
go, Unseen.
Hey, yeah.
Looks like it fixed it.
There we
Okay.
go. Okay, yeah, that
Weird.
works.
Discord acting up. Okay. Everyone can hear everyone okay?
Yep.
Good.
Yeah, it looks like we're set.
Okay. I'm going to leave music off just so it's one less thing to deal with since I'm down to one monitor. And you can always put your own ReZero tracks in the back while we watch. Heck yeah.
All right. Do we want to run down just? So am I doing Petra and Regal? I should ask.
You comfy doing Petra? Otherwise,
I'm
I'll
fine.
take her over. It's fine.
Yeah. Do it.
Do it, Connor!
Go off, go off.
Be the pretty little queen you are.
Look, I play Pathfinder and D&D a lot. I'm more than used to doing young girls' voices. It's not a problem for me at
True.
all.
Someone clip
DM
that.
it.
I
Prepares you
like
for it.
princesses in my game.
Aw.
I like princesses in my game.
You don't have to nerd emoji him.
Wooloo, you
Hey.
did make it. Welcome.
Welcome in.
Hey guys.
Welcome, Woodoo.
Hello. Oh, we will recast things in the next interlude. We're about to start interlude 1 if you want to listen along.
Sure. Yeah, I wanted to stop by and just say hello. But yeah,
Oh.
I can stop. I can listen to the first interlude for a few minutes. I've
Your
got time for that.
Yay.
Sounds fantastic,
yeah,
by the way.
you sound great.
It does, yeah.
Indeed.
Wow.
Oh, thank you. I've made quite a few upgrades since the last time. I'm using
Upgrades.
an AT.
Oh, wow.
Oh yeah, I mean, AT 2020 with a interface this time.
Whoa.
Oh, nice.
Wow.
You
Damn.
sound like when we were interviewing Sean Chiplock.
Yeah.
Wooloo, are you down to
Awesome.
join us for the Arc 6 live reads for our anniversary in March?
Sure, I would
Yes.
love it.
Yeah.
On the spot recruitment.
Yeah, that's how we do it here at Reverie.
So I'm pretty sure the
Will
first
there
couple
be-
chapters will be the people who are doing the main cast voicing, so we can use anyone.
Nice.
Yes.
So who would you have in mind, out of curiosity, or just narration?
Narration, but we're going to see which cast members can't make it the day of, and then what we're going to do is we're just going to cover them live, like we do with like the Arc 1 to 3/4 reads. And then in the final edit, we'll take out the audio if like one of our voice actors comes back. Example with Anastasia, since Allie can't make it, whoever covers for her, we're gonna remove your audio from the live stream audio, and then when we make a final version, we're gonna put in Allie's audio, that kind of thing.
Ah, okay.
So, but narration, we won't change. We'll just keep getting
Okay.
the same narrator back. So, yeah, that's what we're gonna do.
Yeah, I'm busy with a lot of classes and my my English certification, but yeah, I would
Ooh.
definitely love nothing more than to jump in with you guys at any
Yay.
time. I've missed being in these live reads.
We've missed you.
Welcome back.
Missed
We'll
you
have
guys
lots
too.
of opportunities whenever you're free.
Of course, I'd love nothing more.
Yay! Well, without further ado, should we all get started?
Yes.
Yeah.
Alrighty. So when you are ready, Tealdi, take us away.
Okay. Oh, hold on. Everything broke. Everything's fixed.
It's still Joker.
Immediately fixed it. I'm good. Okay.
We're so back.
All right. Intermission. Scene on a dragon carriage. The dragon carriage rattles along quietly as it continues down the highway. Protected by its blessing, those inside the carriage feel barely any effect from the wind. Subaru leans back and leaves himself to the silence, thinking about how this is the first time he has ever ridden calmly on a carriage before. The first time, when heading from Roswell's mansion to the royal capital, was supposed to be the most at ease. But that one turned into something horrible halfway through, thanks to Subaru's own screw-up. And in the end, there was no room to feel any ease at all. But there's a number of things he only managed to pull off because he had that experience, so he can't exactly call it a bad one. And all the ones from the second time on were heading from the capital to Roswell's. Since those trips all happened due to the witch cult, there's really no way he could have felt relaxed and calm during any of them. Thus, this is Subaru's first time riding a carriage without any sense of panic or haste.
Say, Petra, isn't this kind of close?
No? Is there some problem, Subaru?
Looking up at Subaru, with her reddish-brown hair swaying, is Petra. She's been holding Subaru's hand ever since the carriage took off, sitting on his left, huddled up close against him. Subaru had first thought it was because she was scared, what with all that had happened. But with how she's persistently been smiling so brightly and holding his hand, it's almost as if...
I feel like a dad. My supposedly absent parental instincts now are bubbling up from within me.
It's not fair how you've been all about that lady. Shouldn't it be okay? You said there's still time until we reach the city.
Petra, what we were doing before was, something a lot different. Look, me and Subaru were having a talk that we needed to have. which was so important. I wasn't trying to keep him to myself.
Never ever going to lose to you, miss.
Says Amelia timidly, and says Petra back intimidatingly. Subaru can't quite get a grasp on the situation, but going off what she's saying and how she's acting, it doesn't seem like Petra dislikes Amelia or anything. It's probably just a result of his playful relationship with Petra. But being that Amelia is not used to children, her concern is nothing to laugh about.
Don't take what she says too seriously, Amelia Tunn. Things kids say, you know? You gotta smile, grin, soiree back, and ignore most of it.
I couldn't be such a charlatan just because I'm talking with someone young.
Who's this charlatan anymore?
You're teasing me like that again.
Amelia pouts, dissatisfied, and Subaru gives an easy apology while his face breaks into a smile. Petra tugs Subaru's sleeve disapprovingly, indicating that she also must get her attention. Seated between two beautiful girls, Subaru has been blessed with an uncommon happening for Subaru, with one girl being in love confession standby mode, and the other one being worth having some expectations for in 3 years' time. But really, right now, Subaru's carriage is headed from the Liafas Highway to the Royal Capital. This carriage, which is not the one that had been installed with the bomb, is being driven by one of the youths of Arlem Village's Young Men's Brigade. Inside are Subaru and Amelia, and also the children. At first, everybody had given their quiet consideration by leaving Subaru and Amelia to themselves. But then Petra happily shoved herself in, and now here we are. Complaining at children for intruding on together time was, of course, something Subaru would not quite do. But that said, Petra's incursion did have its benefits. After all, he only just got done saying a bunch of embarrassing stuff to Amelia. He gave the on-confession response standby mode Amelia that smooth, "Oh, wait." But the flame of love is still blazing in his chest with combustive ferocity. Couple that with the achievement he felt about getting here, and all brakes are off. Worst case, he'd end up preemptively demanding something more than a lap pillow.
Oh man, that was really pretty risky there. Acting that cool about things and then that. Hell, that'd be mortifying.
Good.
Just talking about how you saved me, Petra. Ah, that's right. You kept your promise not to leave Amelia Tan alone. You're amazing! Amazing!
Subaru gently pats Petra's hair as he gives his double thanks. If Petra and the other kids had let go of Amelia's hands, she might have pushed herself again and gotten hurt. That hadn't happened, and that all of Subaru's toiling had procured the results he wanted was unmistakably thanks to everybody, including Petra's, help. Seriously, blessed. Too blessed.
Oh, there's so many people I have to thank once this has calmed down.
Krush, Felis, and Wilhelm from Krush's faction. Loath to admit it, but Julius, and the members of Iron Fang from Anastasia's faction. Have to speak to barely memorable Russell, too, and make good on that promise to give him the cell phone. Kinda inexcusable that the exchange would end in Russell being gypped, but considering the happiness Subaru had gained as a result, it was better he ignore that and put aside as something trivial. Sorry, Russell.
Oh, there's a mountain of things I gotta think over too.
First, he absolutely has to look into what the fuck Roswell was doing this whole time. And he probably needs to discuss with Krush and Anastasia as to how to divvy things up from the white whale and sloth fights. Especially regarding the white whale. If what Krush said can be believed, Subaru was in position to claim a fraction of the glory. It wasn't that he was lusting for prestige, but if he, being part of Amelia's faction, could get even some slight fame, that would surely help Amelia. You could call it shameless, but Subaru would rather be proactive here. And then, after sorting out the immediate affairs, they're securing Arlem Village and getting things in order there. the future looks laden with difficulties. And before addressing any of that, there is still one mountain that Subaru has to scale.
Amelia-tan, I have something extremely important to tell you.
What is it?
Amelia twines her fingers in her silver hair as she turns to face Subaru properly, her amethyst eyes full of trust. Every time Subaru sees that light in her eyes, he can feel the success that his own actions have brought. Can feel it, but just how will Amelia respond to what he is about to tell her? Just thinking about it is honestly terrifying. Subaru is going to tell Amelia about an unavoidable issue. That is, of course, about Rem. If we're going back to the topic of who Subaru's giving his thanks to, there is unmistakably no one who saved Subaru as much as Rem. Her intense love and devotion mended Subaru's broken spirit and restored his will to stand up and challenge fate. If she hadn't been there then, Subaru would not be standing here now. Without her presence, he never would have escaped from the hell called surrender. When Subaru was most in suffering, in pain, and hopeless, Rem was the one who stood with him and supported him. Was it truly so strange that Subaru felt intense love for this girl? Until now, Subaru had wholeheartedly believed that his feelings would only be devoted to one single person. And in truth, there was only one sweetheart in the world out there for Subaru, and that was Amelia. However, without any change in his feelings towards Amelia, Rem's presence had evoked something of identical size inside Subaru's heart. So, Subaru had decided. It might be tasteless, but being that he can't abandon his love for either of them, he will take both Rem and Amelia. Rem had already permitted him to have such an unseemly idea. The remaining problem is persuading Amelia, and although Rem proposed that they convince her together...
If I keep relying on Rem even for that, I'm really crossing the limit for awful.
Even if opportunity comes to bring Rem in so that she can contribute to the talk, Subaru's the one with the responsibility to first broach the topic. He's trying to get two girls to love him, so this is the minimum tier of hurdle he needs to cross. Subaru takes a breath, his heartbeat slamming in his chest. As he considers what to say, he looks at Amelia. She's staring at him. Mega cute.
This is something incredibly hard to say, but I want you to listen. Of course, I'm sure we'll have to tell her sister at some point too, but first, to Amelia-tan.
Amelia looks perplexed at Subaru's unneeded and stumbling preface. Anguishing over his own weakness for prolonging the issue, Subaru frantically forces the wheels in his head to turn. In never-before-seen, full brain power, forcing his synapses to fire so hot they might spark, finding the absolute best answer.
Honestly, it's about Rem. Rem kind of told me she... You can get what I'm saying, right? So, with that confession there, where this going, I guess sort of selfish, but...
Subaru feels sweat rise on his brow as he frantically gets to cutting the ice. He's already entered some kind of excuse-scented direction on this, but he figures that Amelia, being not bad at conjecture, will understand what he's saying. Amelia raises her hands.
Hold on. Subaru, calm down. I'm starting to lose what you're trying to say, but I can tell that you're trying so hard. You're a good boy. Take it slowly.
You're a good boy is a crazy, depressing thing to hear! Or, no, I really wasn't being a man. Yeah, let's go straight for it. Alright, so, well, actually, Rem told me she loves me, and once you love me too, it's sort of like, you'll both be mine or something!
A momentum-propelled confession of two-timing. Even Subaru is repulsed by what the fuck he actually just said. Amelia's reaction would surely be something similar. Or maybe she'd look at Subaru with eyes hosting disappointment and scorn. Under those pessimistic abstractions, Subaru timidly looks at Amelia, and her reaction is nothing that Subaru envisioned. Her brows scrunch up as she silently puts her finger to her lip, in thought. Perhaps she's meditating over Subaru's comment, thinking up a suitable punishment for him. And with the atmosphere that leaves no room for jokes.
Subaru.
Yes?
Hearing his name, Subaru looks Amelia straight on. Amelia, too, faces Subaru's resolved gaze straight on. However, there's some confusion in her eyes, and with Subaru unable to comprehend what would make her react like that. Her next words, which is the truest of meanings, transcend Subaru's comprehension, are...
Who's run?
End of interlude. Dun 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 dun.
Dun, dun, dun,
Dun
dun.
dun.
Wow, he's so uncomfy. That was wild. Great work, everybody.
I feel compromised.
Nah, he's so real for this though.
It's,
Recorded for the world to hear.
Everyone knows.
On
Unexpected
4K.
F-bombs are always a treat when I'm
Oh my-
narrating.
yes.
Yeah, that
And
was
you-
that was pretty funny.
And your narration was so good.
You did an
It just
amazing
rolls
job.
right into it. You can barely see what's coming next. It's like, oh, here we go. Just roll it.
Connor, I appreciated your Petra. I really hope no one could hear me laughing at you. Aside.
I do not mind at all.
I thought it was.
It's supposed
you
to be
did
ridiculous.
amazing. It was very different from your RAM as well.
Mhm.
I need to get some water.
Yeah, you go get some water. I could barely understand you. It was like you were screaming in cursive.
His freaking accent.
That was excellent. Okay, I guess we're gonna line up our next one. I read in the comments, Fanta actually did a setup for this one.
Yes. So I had saw that was there for like the main like first set of volumes, but
yeah.
I missed that they did include the interlude. So that
Oh.
is my bad for false
That's-
information.
That's okay. It wasn't set up like it normally is on Witch Cult, so it's all good. I never know. Fanta's always like, you could just get it from the site. And I'm like, where? Where do I get it? I can't find it.
Here is
why I-
the link
Oh, nice. Thank you.
for volume 10.
Hey guys,
Oh,
this was a
hello.
fantastic reading. But I have to like head out now. I just wanted to pop in and say hello though, if that's okay.
Yes, of
Yeah.
course.
Yeah, thanks so much, Wooloo.
Thanks, Wooloo.
Of course.
Have a
And
good
keep me
summer.
posted on the readings in March, and I'll definitely see my schedule and see what I can work around. I'd love to
Yes.
work with you guys again.
Yay. It's March 15th that we're going to be live.
Okay, that's a lot of time to prepare.
Yeah.
All right,
Perfect.
guys.
Bye, Wooloo.
Bye,
Safe days
Wooloo.
and nights, friends.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye. Yay. Do we want to... We could probably stick to the one we're using. I like the F-bombs in this one. We can always switch
I think
to-
they're I think it's just a compilation as well. I'm not sure if Fanta was proofreading these as much as
Yeah.
the other ones.
Okay. Let's stick to the one we have, and then we'll use Fantas next time.
Thank you so much, Super Saiyan. That means a lot. Grateful to hear it. We skipped getting a narrator for the brief Natsuki Rem side story here, if anyone else wanted to grab
More
it.
than
Oh,
brief.
is that it? I thought it was 2.
Okay, long.
Oh. it's
There's
There's 3
yeah, it's
interlude
like a
and a
side story.
side
intersection.
story.
like- Oh,
Oh.
okay. Who wants to be narrator Kun?
I could do it.
Natsuki
I can keep rolling it as long as there's no babies.
This is
I
where
think-
she is. Yes, she's
Yeah.
in this one.
Yeah,
well,
the baby
babies
is here.
are. It's enough of a difference that
I think
you're
it's
not
also
getting
the one
narration.
line.
it's not going to be like the one that's like, oh, and then
Yeah.
the baby cried.
Yeah.
Wah.
Oh, yeah.
Wah.
Pretty much.
I'm down. I'm down for that if you guys are down.
I'm down.
Yep.
Wolf, that's a weird bit of irony, though, now that you know stuff for later, isn't it?
Yeah.
What?
Truly.
Nothing. We'll tell you later when you catch up.
Ah. Yo, nothing.
mean?
Honestly, I didn't expect to have my Remith back, but I'm like kind of fucking here for this. Let's go. Let's go.
Woo!
All right, everyone ready?
I was born ready.
All right.
Go off.
Those first question marks will be me, by the way, Wolf.
Okie dokie.
Okay.
Side story. Natsuki Rem. Beneath a pristine sky of blue, Subaru squints up at the downpour of daylight. He hears someone crying. A girl crying. Crying with all her might, using all the strength in her little body. Seeing her pour all her soul into showcasing her emotions, Subaru idly wonders how it is that kids have so much energy. And after thinking it, he's stunned at himself for how geriatric it is to think such a thing.
I already knew that I'd gotten old, but noticing it's being an unconscious instead of conscious thing sucks. And when I was trying to be still full of youth and boundless energy.
The hell is youth and boundless energy? You ever take a damn objective look at yourself?
Sounds some insults coming from Subaru's side. The familiar, crude voice makes Subaru sigh as he lazily turns to look at the speaker. Subaru is seated on a chair, and a boy stands next to him at even eye level. The boy frowns in response to Subaru's silent staring.
But anyway, do something about Speaker's crying already. Seriously, can't handle it.
But I'm done for. Your heartless words have torn my tender soul to shreds. I've reverted to the mind of a childlike speaker. I'm gonna start bawling. Forgive my done-for self.
There's nothing forgivable about a grown man doing that in public.
The boy gesticulates vigorously as he retorts to Subaru's immature manner of sulking. The action prompts the baby cradled in Subaru's arms, Spica, to take a deep breath. The two guys give useless statements of ah and ooh, and there comes the emotional explosion.
She's crying! Speaker's crying! Look at Regal! You better do something about this! You're her brother!
If you're gonna say that, then isn't it that you're the one that's gotta do something if you don't want to be terrible?
In a corner of a main street of a lively townscape, two guys pass the responsibility around as they cradle a baby. Passerby look over at the noisy three, wondering what's going on. But after seeing the two of them running around in circles, they look away like, what? Just the same as always, and ignore it. So the two's pattern of running around continues undisturbed. Could call it charming, or just as easily call it riotous and unpleasant.
We've got a little girl bawling her whole soul out over here, and not a single person's giving us a hand. Shit! What's wrong with society? Have people's souls become so barren?
This isn't the time to whinge about the world. If we don't stop Speaker's crying, what'll she say when she gets back?
When who gets back?
Well, who else?
Michael crosses his arms, nodding, and glances behind him. When his face stiffens and he falls stupefied, his mouth gaping open in dumb shock. Following Rigel's gaze, Subaru also catches sight of this new character, and his eyebrows spring up.
Oh, done shopping?
Yes, without problems. It seems you two have had some trouble.
Nope. Speaker's just super energetic. I'm raising her so when she's running circles like this, she'll be running circles around guys. She's got a future as a bad girl. Heart's pounding here.
Ika's eyes open slightly as she notices the woman, and opens her hands before reaching out to her. Her uncomfortable posture dictates her demand for swapsies, the alienation wounding Subaru's poor paternal heart.
That said, I ignore what she wants to make her cry again. Then there's just winding up where we started. We? All yours?
She's all mine.
Tone is pretty reckless, but he is awfully gentle as he hands Spica over. A smile rises on the woman's face as she sees his fingers cradling the babe like something ephemeral and precious. The woman accepts Spica and cradles her securely to her chest before gently rocking her.
No, your father and brother are just no good. It's essential for you to swiftly grow larger and scold them as well.
Hey now! Don't go implanting things in her head while she's still an infant.
Imagines himself having just done or said something stupid, stuck between the two angry girls with their arms akimbo. And then adding Rigel to that picture.
What? That's not as bad as I thought. Actually, that's such a happy fantasy that I might start crying, maybe.
No damn thanks. Getting yelled at by my little sister completely crushed my dignity as a brother.
There's no dignity out there that stays uncrushed after running in circles with me. I see it. Loving your sister and constantly spoiling her. Your future is one of being whipped.
Don't push this on me just because you're whipped yourself. I'm never gonna be like that.
Whittles his fingers in a mysterious fashion as Rigel gives his objection. The one to furrow their brows at Rigel's refutation isn't Subaru, but the blue-haired woman who had been watching happily over the two's back and forth. In a calm but firm tone, the woman calls Rigel's name.
Rigel, is that any way for you to be speaking in public? It is not tolerable.
But, I mean...
Your mother hates but I means, and your previous statement was incorrect.
The woman gives the calm Spica, cradled in her arms, a tender smile.
Your mother does not have your father whipped, because your mother always puts your father in number one.
Spoken with her cheeks flush, a statement more embarrassing than bawling like a baby in public. Rigel throws his arms up in surrender. Feeling something akin to an itch, Subaru smiles. The woman softly brushes her hair back as she blissfully watches over the family scene. Rem's long hair, blue as the sky and caressed by the wind, sways in the breeze. They're in a corner of a city called Kararagi, a spot that you could maybe or maybe not call a park. Subaru spaces out as he sits on one of the benches there. He watches the blue, short, spiky-haired Rigel run about to and fro with his somewhat brattish friends. The way he talks with his dad is impermissible, but watching him playing like this makes him seem like something cute.
Oh, if only we could do something about those nasty serial killer eyes of his.
We mustn't. Those nasty eyes are who Rigel is. Even if he is enjoying himself, no matter how gleeful he is, strangers seeing him for the first time will think he's nefarious and displeased because of his face. That's who Rigel is.
I can hear you! And Mom, you're backing me up actually really hurt!
Screams Rigel, who has been caught by the Oni as it is in a state of being frozen, in this game that Subaru popularized called Freeze Oni. Subaru gives him a casual wave, and so does Rem, her small and careful, so as not to disturb a sleeping Spica. Rigel pouts with his sharp, Sampaku gaze dissatisfied. He looks like Subaru did in his childhood photo albums, and unbearably so.
Which means it's already decided that his future will end up like this. I'd shudder if I were him, being told that I'd turn into me in 20 years.
Skilled at cooking and incredible at housework. Will acquire an ideal wonderful wife who is respectful and devoted to her valiant husband. Would that be what you meant?
What does this even mean?
Oh no.
That's a slur.
Oh my god!
Let's
Oh.
change that. What the hell is this?
Normie shit.
BS? Normie shit.
Okay.
There.
Yeah. Good.
The hell is this normie shit? Oh! Wait! The normie shit was me all along!
Hand to his head and pokes out his tongue. Rem gives a small laugh and puts her hand to her mouth before clicking her throat and glancing at Subaru.
If you don't deny that and adorn me so in compliments, you do realize that I'll get carried away?
Where did I adorn you with compliments in that exchange? All I did was purposely not deny you praising yourself. That said, it's an unmistakable truth, and there is nothing deniable about it.
Actually, if you let Subaru get away with unrestrainedly, unabashedly talking about Rem, things turn into something horrible with all the compliments flying around. Being that it's midday with kids scuffling in the park, lots of their family members and neighbors are around. If Subaru starts with the lovey-dovey talk even once, the entire thing will escalate and inadvertently monopolize all the neighborhood gossip tomorrow. Doesn't sound so bad, is a tempting poison in Subaru's thoughts, but he consciously ignores it and immerses himself in peace and harmony. He closes his eyes while basking in sunlight, creating the illusion that he is floating upon the light's warmth. Something begins to drag his consciousness away, his exhaustion after consecutive late nights overpowering his attention. His head grows heavy, wavers, and...
What?
If you're tired, take my shoulder, as Spica is currently monopolizing my arms.
Subaru opens his eye to find Rem, who has scooched over to his side and is propping him up. With their height difference, his head will fit perfectly in the crook of her shoulder if he leans over. Feeling some embarrassment, he looks down at Spica as she sleeps in Rem's arms, with her father's black hair and her mother's adorable face. A sweet, innocent life, yet ignorant of the world.
Oh, that damn speaker! You might be my darling daughter, but you're a bad girl for monopolizing my sanctuary. You're sentenced to tickle torture later.
Oh, God. You'll have to wait until nighttime to monopolize my breasts.
We're in a park in the middle of
Thanks,
the day
Fred.
right now, so could you please watch what you say?
That incredible line prompts Subaru to jerk far, far back. He glances over to find that Rem is blushing beet red. How to put it?
My wife is mega cute!
Only because I'm so loved.
The two share a smile. Rem's being beaming, Subaru's being kind of ugh. But it's still a smile. Getting embarrassed at their prolonged mutual gazing, Subaru scratches his cheek to collect himself.
Then I'll oblige.
He says as he boldly rests his head on Rem's shoulder. Her long hair feels strangely nice as it tickles his cheeks in the wind. While sniffing its scent, Subaru rubs his cheek against Rem's shoulder.
That tickles, darling.
Oh, sorry. It did something and it felt good and I got super excited. Now I'm following Speaker's example and I'm all settled down. Oh, I'll leave being unsettled up to Rigel. Ew! Rigel's such a kid.
I can hear you, stupid dad. Stop bringing me up all the time.
Rigel, your sister is sleeping. Please be more considerate.
This isn't goddamn right.
Screams the frozen Rigel, but no one in the family is going to back him up. Actually, just straight up nobody is going to help Rigel. His role is one of being teased. Super finds that Rigel's personality, speech, and behavior coincide a lot with his own, but Rigel's peers neglect to shun him might be the only point where his luck outstrips Subaru's. That said, Subaru also felt that he was part of the community when he was a child. Rigel's future isn't looking so bright.
Oh, gotta make sure Speaker doesn't turn out like that. Regal's unfortunate, but you take after Mum and have a bright future awaiting you. I'm just praying you don't get caught up in the grips of a useless guy like me.
There's not anyone who could substitute for you. You're the only one of my darling in the world.
There's a small smile, and the two fall into silence. With the gentle wind tickling him and Rem's body heat on his skin, this world of innocence could about swallow him. Days of manual labor have built up some physical strain in Subaru. These occasional instances of family time are where he delights in the happiness of daily living. Basking in sunbeams, watching his son get teased by his friends, napping while cuddling up to his wife while she cradles his daughter. Was this not sweet happiness?
Subaru-kun.
Subaru opens his eyes at the sudden address. He glances over to see Rem, her head tilted slightly towards him. Her pale blue eyes reflect Subaru, her lips trembling, suggesting that she has something to say.
That name?
Rem goes silent.
It's been a while. You've only been calling me darling or your father lately.
Closes his eyes, his mouth relaxed, but Rem's tense. Her attitude makes Subaru think of several years ago, when they had just run away, where this kind of thing was incredibly common. She'd been trying to keep Subaru from noticing, but Subaru paid more attention to Rem than she thought. Subaru closes his eyes, feels the breeze. Rem was the one who proposed they all go shopping today. Subaru has a bit of a guess as to why.
It's been 8 years since that day now.
So you noticed.
Well, it's a huge turning point for me. No, for us. I noticed, remembered, didn't forget. I'd never forget.
The day he knelt before fate, abandoned everything, and ran away. He had meant to give up on everything, but there was one thing he couldn't surrender that day. Their decision that day, and her love. Because that was there, Subaru was now here.
Subaru-kun, do you...
It's a nostalgic form of dress, and one that Rem consciously phased out of using shortly after they fled to Kawaragi, partly to indicate their status as a couple to those around them, but also to make a change from the past. Subaru had purposefully never referenced this fact until today, and Rem had never told him her reason for it either. A whirlpool of complex emotion churns in Rem's eyes.
Have any regrets?
Regrets?
Yes. About running away. About giving up. About throwing so much away. About me being what you...
If you say chose, I'll get super mad. I get to come home hand in hand with Regal and Speaker. Oh! Nah, we don't really need Rigel. Just leave him behind.
Subaru sees Rigel's face sour, but shoots him the most feigned ignorance, I'm having an important discussion right now look to send him hurtling down into the abyss. He turns back to Rem.
You know, this is seriously super late to mention. 8 years down the line and all, and I really have no idea how much effect this will have after saying it tens or hundreds or thousands of times, but...
Yes?
I love you more than anything in the world. You're my only wife, and I'm your only man. You're not the kind of cheap woman a guy like me could get by making compromises.
He gets himself upright and bounces his finger off Rem's forehead. Rem looks surprised as Subaru brings his face closer to hers.
Just as I pledged that day, everything I am belongs to you. I devote myself to you, give myself to you, live only for you. Though now, also for our children.
Subaru brings his face closer and steals a kiss. Nothing more than fleeting contact. While close enough to feel each other's breath, Subaru makes a mischievous face, the one that never changes no matter how much he ages.
So, that ease you?
I'm sorry. I'm always uneasy. Because I continuously fall more deeply in love with you, Subaru-kun. I believe that there could be nothing happier than this. And then it happens that I experience even greater, further happiness. Happiness and love. And so, unease?
Tears well up in Rem's eyes while she speaks of happiness, simultaneously shaking her head. She puts her forehead to Subaru's, each sharing the other's warmth.
It feels as though one day, my darling who I touch like this will disappear.
Relax. I'm not leaving you, and I'm never going to disappear. So long as your love for me hasn't exhausted, we'll never be separated.
Subaru-kun, my love for you would never be exhausted.
Well then, together, forever. I love you, Rem.
Again, Subaru kisses Rem. Teeth meet soft lips, her face frozen in surprise as Subaru plunges in deeper. Their tongues intertwine, her saliva hot on his taste buds. This is where he separates. Rem takes a little breath, her breathing now longer and heavier. Subaru raises his finger.
And besides, don't say stupid things about it being a compromise or whatever. What's a compromise? You mean we had Rigel and Speaker out of sympathy and not love? Speaker's the embodiment of our planned love, and Regal's a kid born from the recklessness and flowing passions of the love in our youth.
It certainly was a time when Regal was born.
Subaru with hand on hip and lecturing posture. Rem smiles and counting the memories off on her fingers.
We'd moved to Karagi and finally found jobs and a residence, and what we needed to do was slowly, carefully prepare our foundations to live, and yet...
No. Well, look, I was young and impatient.
You were supposed to be exhausted after work, Subaru-kun, and yet bedtime certainly saw you lively.
No. Well, look, I was young and had stamina.
The time that we acquired formal employment and the time I became pregnant were almost simultaneous. How pale my face turned then.
Sure are hard to accept those follies of your youth.
Ryan's face sours at getting treated like a mistake, but he appears to read the mood and manages to control himself. Pretty good son. Subaru gives him a nod, and Rem also turns her gaze to him.
But, honestly, I was happy when I got pregnant with Rigel.
And I was too. When I first found out, my nose leaked and I pissed myself just a little, and I got you to punch me to make sure I wasn't dreaming. Man, it got bloody.
Probably happened because she had been inches away from exploding in rage, but she punched him hard enough that when he slammed against the wall, the whole of their temporary residence slanted. If Subaru hadn't managed to brace himself, he feasibly could have died. That one aside, Subaru remembers everything from when Rem told him she was pregnant, and all the warm feelings that surged through his chest back then. But Rem shakes her head. Subaru tilts his head, not getting it. A slight shadow comes over Rem's smile.
My happiness was surely different from your pure one, Subaru-kun. What made me happy was my delight that I would never lose you.
Subaru goes silent.
Rigel is the bond between you and me in a tangible form. The phrasing is not nice, but with the baby being born between us, we would be bound together by some unseverable... That is why I was happy.
Maybe this was what was making her so anxious back then. They had abandoned everything and fled to a new land together, with only each other to cling to. Meaning that Rem was constantly terrified that she may lose Subaru. Rem's self-esteem is low enough to put up a good fight with Subaru's. Considering how Rem undervalues herself, life with Subaru meant constant exhaustion between the extremes of happiness and the extremes of terror. What ended those extremes was the new life born between them.
You didn't believe?
No, I did. I believe in you more than anyone in the world, Subaru-kun.
Not that. I don't mean not believing in me. You didn't believe in yourself?
Rem's breath catches, and she gives a small nod. Her mental image of Subaru is inordinately grand. Her own presence, in opposition to that, must feel unnervingly minuscule. She must not have noticed that Subaru had always held the exact same unease, even though Subaru had always considered Rem a girl far too good for himself. It makes Subaru smile. Seeing that, Rem puffs out her cheeks.
Fine. I was stupid. Of course you would laugh.
No. I just had that thought again. That you and me have the exact same character. But despite that, my wife truly is the cutest in the world.
Sneak attack makes Rem freeze for a moment in surprise, and she blushes. Seeing her reaction makes Subaru feel vividly that, yes, I love her. He loved Rem more than anyone in the world, was in love with her. He could scream it from the top of his lungs. And in reality, he occasionally did. They're a pretty famous fiery couple in the neighborhood.
Rigel, Spica?
Huh?
Subaru tilts his head. Rem looks up at him.
They're both names of stars. The names of the stars from a place where you lived.
Oh, yep. My dad was fundamentally a crazy, unfortunate kind of man who'd spell common sense more like common sense. But I think him naming me Subaru was a good decision. I really like it. My name. Subaru's a star name too, you see.
In primary school required that the students look into the origins of their names, which was how Subaru came to learn the history behind his own. Upon learning that he was named after a cluster of the stars that painted the night sky, he felt uncharacteristic glee. Ever since, despite his tendency to drop hobbies quickly, perusal of manuals and indexes about stars alone remained a long-standing custom. He knew the names of most stars, and whenever he had the opportunity to name something, his selection would, of course, be
a star name, basically. My online usernames were star names, and if I ever needed an alias or a fake name, it'd probably be from a star. I guess in some sense, aren't these sparkle names?
I would not know in what sense you mean, but I think it's wonderful to take names from stars. When we have our third, let's do the same.
Talking about a third right now seems, kind of pretty hasty. Like, Speaker's still an infant.
I believe it would be fine to entrust her to Rigel once she's no longer breastfeeding. Why do you think I cautioned you we couldn't have another child until Rigel was larger?
It doesn't really stand out since I'm around, but you're pretty damn harsh on Rigel too, Rem.
Stands up, brushing off his behind. He turns his back towards Rem, revolves his hips.
Want to put our shopping down so say it's about time to go home? Outside we have the public eye bothering us and we can't get as lovey-dovey as we want.
I want to skip this line so
Yeah,
bad.
me too.
Indeed, I am in the mood for full strength, full power, lovey-dovey for the first time in a while.
Oh, I hate myself! Can my libido really keep up with an Oni's stamina?
Subaru mutters to himself in terror, then holds his hand out to Rem, still seated on the bench. Rem leisurely takes his hand and pulls herself up, simultaneously pulling Subaru into her arms. Subaru takes his time relishing the warmth of hugging both Rem and Spica. Then...
Right off we go then, to our home!
Yes, darling.
Subaru holds the shopping bag in one hand, Rem's hand in the other. Subaru walks a half step ahead of Rem, who huddles up close behind him as she follows. They go over to their son, still frozen in the middle of the square.
Hey, my son presently enjoying the Sapporo Snow Festival. The game of Freeze Oni isn't going anywhere, and watching it is the peak of boring, so me, Mum, and your sister are going home. You go stay at a friend's overnight.
Aren't you just plain goddamn throwing me out? Or no. Actually, let's talk about how my parents were in the middle of a park in broad daylight kissing.
That's what you get, Mr. Envy. Too bad, Rigel. This Rem's for my use only.
Shut up!
Rigel screams in anger, setting his sharp Sanpaku gaze on the chortling Subaru. But Rigel sees that Subaru seems to enjoy all this, and gives a long, deep sigh. Rigel shakes his head.
Cool it, me. Don't get up in Dad's pace. Cool it. Right, cooled it. So, what were you talking about with Mom?
Oh, stuff like how your name's a star name. Actually, saying that, the first candidate for your name was Vega, but...
That's badass! Why didn't you?
Well, because it's badass! Felt like you'd be hard to deal with in your rebellious age, so we stopped on that one. I knew that age would eventually pass, but this father's heart of mine didn't want to get bested by its own son.
That's how far you imagined the future of a just-born infant?
jumps up as he retorts to Subaru's clever joking, and...
Rigel moved. Rigel broke the rules of free Oni.
The Oni verbally assaults Rigel at his critical juncture. Rigel's throat freezes. Subaru gives Rigel's shoulders a slap.
Guys who break the rules of free Oni play a penalty game. Oni's gonna get tickled till we can't laugh or cry anymore. Good luck.
Don't say something so stupid with such a serious Hey, what you got? Stop! Wait! Don't take this man's words seriously! Wait!
Children appear one after another to chase Rigel around. Rigel flees, but they capture him. They push him to the ground, his limbs restrained, and assault his body with their merciless fingers.
Oh, farewell, my son. You were a good boy. Your father was the one at fault.
Rigel, your mother and father have important things to discuss, so stay overnight at a friend's house for today. Also, you are forbidden to use your horn, so as to not tear your clothes.
I'll remember this, you heartless parents!
Bika sees her big bro getting tortured by leagues of tickly hands and makes a happy-sounding noise. Looks like she's got a promising kind of personality to her. She'll probably become a bigger fixture in the Natsuki household than Rigel.
Holy shit.
With his somewhat twisted exhibition of love for his darling Rigel conveyed, Subaru takes Rem's hand and starts walking towards the tranquility and happiness-filled abode in which his precious family live.
Subaru-kun?
Rem tugs on his hand, prompting Subaru to stop walking. He glances back. The moment he does, a strong wind blows past the two. Subaru unwittingly closes his eyes, slowly opening them again once the wind's noises subsides. The wind caresses Rem's long blue hair, which glimmers so much as if to melt into the sunlight. Rem, with her hair grown long, Subaru more or less knows and countered to whom she had done that. When Subaru now thought of long-haired girls, the first image to arise in his mind was that of the most precious woman in the world, right here in front of him. Cradling their beloved daughter, her long blue hair gently tousled in wind, Rem smiles at Subaru. For Subaru, that was the smile of his most beloved, which evoked adoration and unparalleled by no other.
I, right now, am happier than any in the world.
Dun dun dun, it's over.
You said it was short. You said it was short!
I said all the interludes and everything totaled at 50 chapters.
That was fucking cursed.
That was so cursed. I can't believe I had to voice that.
I had read Remeth. I thought we weren't doing the park scene. I thought it'd be anything else. But
It's not like
Really
they
think about
talk
it, Rigel's
that
just auto.
differently in the rest of the Rem
You're
if
not
they
wrong.
are together.
fuck.
Jesus Christ.
I'm gonna run to pee real quick while we set up the next chapter. How you doing?
Yeah,
out
so
there?
if any of you at home weren't aware of just how down bad those two are for each other, it lasts like a week after they run away in the sloth decision, and then it's literally every night afterwards.
Yeah.
Disgusting!
Yeah,
It's actually
This was-
insane.
this was my first time experiencing this interlude in any way, or even anything from this timeline, and I'm like, oh my god, these guys are so cute. Like, yeah,
Mhm.
they're in their honeymoon phase like all the time,
Forever and ever.
like, you know, forever. Yeah, interesting. Also, yeah, that slur jumps.
Yeah, that scared. I was like,
That
what
was
is this?
yeah. That was like a remnant of the old days, you know, the old internet days.
I was like,
Yeah.
what does that
Once
even
was
mean?
translated.
Well, when was this translation?
I'm
Basically like
blinking.
house husband or whatever.
No, it's like he's asking, who is this like normal person that you're
Yeah,
describing?
who is
Oh,
this
wait, it's
normie that I
me.
turned into? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. It's just more like
Who is
internet
this
culture.
normie? Wait, that's me.
Let me see what this actually says.
I'm like, when was this translated? That feels
Yeah.
that feels so 2010s era.
It couldn't have been like that long ago, could it? Like maybe like
It
2015. No.
it would have been pretty long. I'm pretty sure that Arc 4 was like the first arc translated in full.
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, but when was Arc 4 released?
This
Yeah,
was
it was
released April 1st, 2013.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah,
it was
that
a
would do it.
long time
Yeah.
ago.
Okay. Yeah, okay, I was thinking more on the lines of like 2015, but 2013. That's right.
Yeah, it's been a while.
That's yeah. Wow.
The next
Wizard of Gold.
chapter is Rem, Krush, Lai, and Regulus.
Woo!
I think so.
Hooray, it's me.
Yeah, just those four.
And a
Nothing.
narrator.
And the narrator.
So, is there any significance to Subaru calling his son Mr. Envy?
Ooh.
They're just fighting over Rem. It's like just a thing in the household. It's a constant competition over who Rem likes best and who Spica likes best.
Right. Right. I got that, but I was
just
like,
auto.
okay, is there anything that... Yeah. Okay.
No, Chase and I have been dating each other for 3 years, and we were both super uncomfortable with that fucking chapter.
That was
The entire time we were just
actually
like
kind of...
not looking at each other.
Don't make eye contact.
it's like,
You get
oof.
weird fast. Don't do
Even
it.
That just means you're not as down bad as Subaru and Rem.
Oh, can confirm that. No. Even our
Like, I
dog
don't
was
think
just
it's
like sitting in the
possible.
corner, covering her face.
Yeah. I am not
On
surprised
scene, by the
that
way,
this wasn't animated.
You're
Mhm.
you still have the ambience
Yeah.
back.
See if you can
The what?
if you have a bit of a like a white
It's like a
noise
fan in
going
your
on.
background.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the fan noise.
Turning off my air conditioning.
Oh,
Did
Yeah.
that help?
if
That there, it's
Yes.
gone. It's gone.
if it's too hot though, turn it back
There
on.
you go. That was my air conditioner. It's fine. I'm good.
Who needs air
I'll be
conditioning
good.
anyways?
I guess so. Frick.
Oh
So-
yeah. I'm not.
It's the middle of
I'm not gonna
winter.
reveal
What
my-
do you
my-
need AC for?
Mm-hmm.
Here in Arizona, we sometimes do.
So in the
Here's the
Japanese,
thing, I'm not gonna reveal where I am, but like I'm in a really hot place, so I should be fine. Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, yeah. I guess we can do the interlude.
Is it time to sign?
Wolf is just finishing up getting water, and then we are good to go.
Okay.
So,
Hello.
I'll,
Hey,
Whoa,
go.
hi.
How's
Hi.
it going?
Good. How you doing?
Going.
Good, good. This is what happens when I'm not here. You guys do weird things.
When did you pop in?
Just like a few minutes ago.
Oh,
It was
welcome.
right after the side story.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
So in the Japanese, it's just he's asking who is this normie ass, like someone who fits in, and then
Mm.
like a loan word for rear, like rear end.
Yeah, that was
But-
crazy reading what we read.
Yeah, that was
Who's this
That was-
fitting in ass that suddenly came into the picture? Oh wait, it's me.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't want homophobic Subaru in my head. That's the idea.
Yeah, no, fuck.
Yeah.
2013 Subaru.
Yeah.
Yeah, for real. That is
2013
2013
Subaru.
Subaru.
Oh.
That is
Yeah.
like
You know who?
COD lobby Subaru.
Xbox Live Subaru.
God.
This is why he went on to learn girl emoji instead, just to get things across easier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Decided to play
I
Crush
could
again,
see-
Taildy.
Yes.
Yeah, finally.
Which
It's
is
been so
basically
long.
just my voice,
Sweet.
which is weird.
Krush, Rem, Lai, and Regulus.
Mhm.
It looks like it.
Who do we have lined up for
Yeah.
live?
I mean,
Who
I
wants to go
could do
sicko
it.
mode?
Yeah, go ahead, Skur.
Mhm.
We're going
Alright.
sicko mode.
Looking
Let's go.
forward to it.
Yay. Okay. We got our narrator ready. Good. We're just waiting on. Actually, I don't. Do we need Subaru in this one?
It doesn't
I
look
don't
like
think
it.
he's here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Chase will come back when he comes back then.
By the way, I was working on the sprites as the last chapter was being done.
Oh, exciting! Who are you working on now?
Yeah. Oh, I was just finishing up with some of Subaru's expressions
Oh,
once that were
nice.
requested.
Putch, thank you.
I'll send screenshots later. Thank you.
Yay! So for those of you who didn't know, Unseen Hand is the person responsible for our new sprites. So us doing Arc 6 Live will buy Unseen Hand some more time to do our sprites for the rest of our cast. Yay!
Woohoo!
Thank you, guys. Yeah.
Putchy! Your art is incredible.
I'm very honored. Thank you. I'm very honored to work on this. You know, it's
Oh, we're honored to have
it's a big
you.
deal for me. Aw. I'm gonna cry.
Oh no, don't cry.
Yeah.
All right, we ready, everybody?
Yes, sir.
All right, narrator, take us away when you are ready.
While leaning against the frame of the bumping carriage, Rem thinks only of him. Feeling that someone has called her name, Rem raises her downcast head and narrows her eyes in the wake of the beaming sunlight. Rem witnesses before her the several carriages that led their group through the highway, transporting the many wounded who participated in the White Whale battle. They are returning to the capital after the bare minimum of triage, and their number of injured is more than a few. But even with their faces twisted in pain, their smiles indicate a feeling of accomplishment and the realization of a long-held desire. A desire they'd kept for years. The achievement of this goal far outweighs any wounds sustained during its undertaking. Their return to the capital is one of triumph. While casting her gaze on them, Rem feels the unending ache in her chest, and finds some hate for her own shallowness.
You don't look so pleased, Rem. Worries unending indeed.
Kuroshama.
Rem looks aside to find Krush seated right next to her. She admires how Krush's bearing gives no suggestion of the substantial wounds bandaged underneath her armor, but not even Krush can fully conceal her fatigue. She is riding in the carriage because her riding alone on a dragon would provoke unease, and so the decision was made that she would ride alongside Rem, at least until they sighted the capital. Seeing Rem's concerned gaze, Krush shrugs to show off her health. She gives a light jerk of her chin.
Wilhelm and Felis, the warriors of our battalion are elite. Ricardo's mercenaries are also assisting. And most vitally, I find it difficult to imagine that Anastasia Hoshin hasn't already considered matters that far. The enemy's combat strength provokes some unease, but I don't sense that they'll lose.
And with that being, my worrying is merely egotistic.
Even with some roots of unease quashed, the concerns will never end. Should the anxiety be a result of your own doing, by contemplating yourself or recognizing your true concern, the situation surely will change. Although, when the issue references the foes, that becomes a complicated prospect. Reassuring others is not my forte. Forgive me.
Seeing Rem's expression get even unhappier, Krush censors her own gaffe and lowers her gaze. In doing, Rem feels that Krush suddenly drops some of her aloof formality, and a smile etches itself across her face. Krush catches sight of this and gives a satisfied nod.
Subaru said the same. That smiling suits you better, Rem. It sounded as simple flirtation when listening from a side, but it was surprisingly not a statement of jest.
Kuroshama, you give a different impression when you're smiling. You usually present yourself with such steel, but when you smile like this, it is almost as if...
Am occasionally told as much, and it does cause me bother. Accordingly, it isn't frequently that I give unneeded smiles in public. My stature as a standoffish woman compounds ever more.
Rem's lost on whether that was a joke and if it's alright to laugh, but seeing Krush's mouth relax makes Rem's face break into a smile as well. The always gallant and dignified Krush was one of the ideal female figures for the constantly unconfident, timid Rem. That said, Rem's greatest ideal was of course her older sister Ram. Either way,
Ahead of them awaits the witch cult. It's something I had anticipated once Amelia's lineage became known, but caution is essential against an uncharted opponent. Natsuki Subaru surely has too, but would Lord Mathers not have some countermeasure prepared?
I have not been so learned as to fathom my master's mind, even when I attempt to make him speak. You understand that he will not tell me.
Severe. And we are now partners in alliance. So surely some looseness of the tongue would be acceptable.
that was probably Krush being considerate for Rem, to keep her thoughts from going in a grim direction. Indeed, thanks to her noting this, Rem can spend the time traveling without getting stuck too deep in contemplation. Krush's words are tenable, and Roswell definitely should have some countermeasure prepared. Subaru's actions would either aid her master in actualizing those countermeasures and surely restore honor to Subaru's name. No, his contributions to the White Whale subjugation already meant his honor would be restored and resound even louder than before. Hero Natsuki Subaru. That was a natural valuation for him, for the Rem whose heart and future he had saved, and she unmistakably thought it was an accurate valuation for the brilliant future he would surely steadily establish from now on as well. If Rem could stand at the side of that brilliance, in a position where it sometimes turned back to look at her, then Ren would desire nothing else. By that alone, she would be fulfilled. Rem's heart always filled with complex feelings when she thought of Subaru. Warmth, safety, but even so, unease and some anguish, her chest pitter-pattering in worry. The only one who could make her heart so ceaselessly swing from joy to sorrow was Subaru. Smiling, Rem imagined Subaru's future, and a future with him. Perhaps relaxed by seeing Rem's expression, Krush touches the scabbard of her nightblade while staring silently at the road ahead, thinking distantly about their travel to the capital. And
Huh?
Krush's eyes narrow. Rem hears a faint noise and raises her head at almost exactly the same moment. Krush notices something strange about the carriage ahead of them. Rem again hears the odd noise that sound out from that carriage's direction, and simultaneous to this, it happens. Straight there and present in Krush's view, the preceding carriage crumbles. What Rem heard was portents of that crumbling, a rain-like staccato, sounding out in succession. A sheet of blood sprays forth, and the scene before them turns into that of slaughter. The dragon, the carriage, and the injured inside, without any restraint or mercy, all shred into smithereens.
Else.
With her breath catching for one moment in shock, Krush calls the others to caution. All the nearby carriages, starting from Krush, enter preparations for combat. Although her body is still wounded and fatigued, Rem takes her flail and stands up. Beyond the spray of blood, she sees someone. She sees someone standing there in the middle of the road. Unarmed, undefended, unwary, and their unrelenting, undiscriminating, unsystematic malice.
Over.
Yells Krush to the coachman as she climbs onto the driver's platform. The knight there cracks the reins rather than nodding his assent, the dragon roaring and speeding up, transforming the carriage into a plummeting cannonball ready to turn its prey into nothing more than globs of gore. The carriage's aim strays true, locked directly on the person standing in the road. They show no signs of moving. The carriage will soon make contact, the impact shredding the person's slim body to...
Kusama!
Screams Rem as she firmly grabs Krush's waist and leaps out of the carriage. Lacking the time to reach out for the driver, Rem bites her lip as she hits the ground, and immediately following...
Is this Regulus or Roy?
Says the man in the road, his tone suggesting that he's having a lovely midday stroll through the local park, as if basking in sunlight in ultimate levels of relaxitude. If his collision with the carriage wasn't shredding the thing apart, then Rem wouldn't have shuddered so greatly at the abnormality of it all. He looks like an incredibly run-of-the-mill guy. A slim frame with neither long nor short nor particularly odd-styled white hair. His black outfit is neither extravagant nor scruffy, and his face holds no notable or eye-catching features. Just a completely ordinary, could blend in everywhere. Spot him in town and you'd forget him in 10 seconds later, average-looking man. But the ground dragon that crashes into him is severed in two, and the chips of the demolished carriage and chunks of the shredded knight blend into an indistinguishable mess. And the most terrifying thing about this to Rem, having kept her eyes on him this entire time, was that he had done nothing but stand there. Taking no particular action, that man had defeated a heavyweight dragon carriage's charge by simply standing there, still and casual.
Thanks, Rem. You saved me. But the situation hasn't changed for the better.
Rouge stands up from inside Rem's embrace. She draws her nightblade from its sheath, her eyes narrowing painfully as she looks down at the indistinguishable scattered pieces of the knight who had acted exactly upon her orders.
Not end with peace when my subordinate has been slain so gruesomely. You, identify yourself.
Her sword gleams with bloodlust as she thrusts it forward, Crucia's tone toward the man sharp. The man puts his hand to his chin and starts nodding, as if agreeing with himself.
I see. Got it. So you don't know who I am. But that said, I know who you are. Since right now in the royal capital, no, all over the country, people are talking about you. I mean, you're the candidates for the next ruler. Even someone as distant from the workings of the world as I can at least imagine what a gigantic burden it must be.
Silence the chatter. Answer me, and next I slay.
Well, isn't that an awful thing to say? But maybe you have that overbearing if you are going to shoulder a whole country. Personally, I can't commend to a human, but perhaps you shouldn't be able to understand the mentality of someone willingly pursuing a position as responsibility laden as ruler. But I'm not saying that I can't comprehend it. I'm invalidating it. I don't have intention in the slightest to be that overbearing. Unlike you, why?
He goes on talking and talking and talking, ignoring Crucia's demand. But
I said that was it.
Rouge interrupts him, her voice cold alongside a swing of her windblade. Invisible tack, born from Crucia's combined wind magic and sword skill. 100-man slash, her famous long-range, super high-class slashing attack. The slash sweeps through the man's torso, capable of killing him while keeping him utterly ignorant to where it had come from or who had fired it. When the witch beast's sizable hair appeared in the Karsten domain, this attack annihilated all the witch beasts seemingly subordinate to the hair. Given its name from its incredible achievement in its first campaign, this was Duchess Crush Carson's 100-man slash. Able to even tear the white whale's thick hide, its destructive power proved incredibly important for felling the beast. A man of a stature so small as to be incomparable to that massive witch beast should not possibly withstand it. But even so...
Attacking someone who's in the middle of a pleasant chat? Just what kind of upbringing did you get?
His head tilted, making a show of lightly brushing off his stricken body. The man is still there. That man had not trembled in the slightest when faced with an attack strong enough to rip open the white whale, and his body, no, not simply just his body, even his clothes lack any sign of damage from the sword. How he managed to defend against the attack is yet another complete unknown. Crucia's breath catches. Rem's body stiffens further at this abnormal entity. The man gives a sigh, and sounding peeved, lowers his voice.
Say, I was talking. You know I was talking. If you're going to interfere with that, then, well, don't you find it
that just a little wrong? You don't think it's incorrect? A person's right to speak isn't something I want to be advocating in the slightest, but whatever. Even so, when someone is talking, don't you think it's implicitly understood that you don't interrupt them? Whether or not you listen is completely up to you, so I won't complain about that, but just what kind of decision is it to keep them from talking?
He stomps the ground, his displeasure clear. He jabs his finger at Krush and Rem, the two pressured into silence by this man's eeriness.
And now the silent treatment. Isn't that another dodgy one? You are listening, yes? You did hear me, yes? I did ask you a question, yes? So then you answer. What would be what comes next? But you're not. You don't want to. Well, up to you. That is definitely at both of your liberties. You're capable of seeing this as me just talking and being attacked, me just questioning and being ignored from your perspective. So that's just how you're using your freedoms. It's fine. You do that. But you know, if that's how you think, then it otherwise means this, yeah?
He bends forward and tilts his head at Krush and Rem, his gaze piercing and his voice low.
That you're disregarding one of my few personal assets, my rights.
The instant the chill runs down Rem's spine, the man steps forth. He swings the arm hanging loosely and casually at his side from down to straight up, generating a faint wind. Immediately following, everything in his arm's path, the earth, the atmosphere, the world, breaks. Twirling goes Krush's severed left arm as it dances through space. Still gripping the sword, the arm splatters to the ground in a shower of blood. Krush collapses to the earth, going into convulsions from the violent bleeding and pain.
Krush-sama!
After a second of astonishment, Rem immediately jumps backwards to the fallen Krush's side. She squeezes out what little mana she has as she places her hands on Krush's wounded shoulder, putting everything she can into healing her and stopping the blood flow. The wound from the arm's severance is so clean as to be fascinating. Her flesh, bone, nerves, veins, and arteries are all perfectly sliced through. Rather than shiver, Rem feels an inopportune sense of admiration at the artistic sharpness of this attack. Mutters Krush in Rem's healing arms, her gaze unfocused. Krush's remaining right arm grabs Rem's leg, the abnormally strong grip wrenching at her femur. Proof that Krush still has the strength to live. Rem is still clueless how he defended against the attack, or what the true nature of this blow even was. All Rem can do is, without missing any cue that the man may attack, take Krush in retreat. But it was strange, the situation. Why had no one but Rem and Krush come forth to face this aberrant man? When their master had sustained a final injury, why were none of the warriors who bested the white whale?
Seriously. No matter how much we eat, it's not enough. This is why we can't stop living. Eating, feeding, chewing, fighting, eating down, eating. I'm chewing down, lipping, lacking, sucking, inhaling, devouring, guzzling, gobbling. Thanks for the meal.
The high-pitched voice of a boy from behind Rem. Feeling the same chill emanating from the man before at her back, Rem's entire body stiffens as she looks behind her. And there, standing in the middle of the stopped carriages, cackling with his back turned to Rem, is someone covered in blood. He's a short boy with dark brown hair that reaches past his knees. He looks as short as Rem, and perhaps 2 or 3 years younger. Just barely enough to be older than the children in the village by the mansion. His slim body is clothed in only dirty rags, whatever slight skin showing through the thoroughly slaked red with blood. Not his own blood, of course, but the blood of fallen knights at his feet. While Rem and Krush had faced the foe before them, the knights had challenged the foe at their back. And as a result, they had been crushed so handsomely that Rem hadn't even noticed they were battling.
You people are...
Her voice shaking, Rem backs off to reach a spot where she can see both foes at once. Drops of Crucius blood dot the highway with crimson, the atmosphere freezing as if snickering at Rem's terror-driven retreat. Hit with Rem's question, the man and boy look at each other, and sharing a nod as if prearranged, horrifically wicked smiles arising on both their faces, they introduce themselves.
Witch cult, cardinal of sin, bishop of greed, Regulus Corneus.
Screw.
Was there an issue there?
Yes, try again.
Sorry, sorry.
Sorry, that's me.
Witch cult, cardinal of sin, bishop of greed, Regulus Corneus.
Which cult cardinal of sin, Bishop Gluttony, Raiva guide us. We felt signs are petted but done in, so we came to look in. Ah, what a wonderful harvest we have here. So great, how great, pretty great, sure it's great, maybe great, surely great, is it great, definitely sure it's great. Tenacity, love, hatred, chivalry, so many joys and sorrows and just mind. Which is exactly why eating them is filling.
Witch cultists, and cardinals at that. With Rem frozen stock still at that piece of vocabulary, the excited boy, Rai Batten Kados, stomps the ground as he speaks, his voice queer. He spins around and around as if dancing, staring affectionately at the fallen knights as he gestures at them with his arms.
Really is great coming over in person to do the eating. We haven't really gotten a chance to meet anyone so full of grit like these guys lately. Our starvation feels sated for once in ages.
Now that's something about you that I just can't comprehend, Patankatos. Say whatever you want about starvation, but it's not that you're truly hungering. And saying that you're sated isn't something that applies to you yourself either. Now, just why is that you can't be satisfied, I wonder? Listening? You do realize that people can only possess what their two arms can hold, and have what their hands can contain. If you can understand that, surely you'll be capable of regulating your own selfish desires.
We don't need it. We don't like lectures. We're not gonna deny what you're saying or say it's incorrect, but we also don't care. Ah, seriously, we couldn't care less about anything but satiating this hunger.
Batten Kados of Gluttony laughs insanely. Regulus of Greed gives a bored shrug. Faced with two cardinals of sin in the same place at the same time, Red forces her near-stalling brain to think, searching for a way out of this deadlock. In raw combat, to defeat these two is impossible. Crucia's bleeding has stopped, but she is still in serious danger. Rem cannot determine whether the knights are dead or wounded, but either way they can't be counted as combat forces. Rem herself is just exhausted remaining mana on healing. If she went into her Oni form, then that should give her something for battle. But faced with these two, she sees no visions of victory. On one hand, with absolutely no gaps visible in his offense or defense, is Greed. There were rumors he had once destroyed an entire city on his own, and Rem didn't know his limits. And on the other hand, with no visible limit to his strangeness, is Gluttony. His combat history is unknown, but he is clearly a man of strength who has defeated a group of accomplished knights in under a minute. Rem sees no future of beating him either. Rem glances around at the surroundings to find no sign of the Liger-driven carriages. Those would have been the returnees and wounded from the Beastman mercenaries, and the carriage with the white whale's severed head. They ideally had fled in the ruckus and were powering as fast as they could to the royal capital. The one to that order would have been the mercenaries group's vice chair, Hetero. He was a possessor of both intelligence and common sense, so he might return with reinforcements if Rem buys him time. Rem doesn't think she can resist these two long enough for that.
The white whale.
Oh?
The two cardinals simultaneously tilt their heads in response to Rem's muttering. Rem's breathing catches as she begins conversation to buy time, speaking quickly to not lose their interest.
The white whale. Is that what you have pursued us to collect? As our group was returned to the capital with the severed head?
The head? So that's what was stinking funny. Well, we don't really need the head or anything, and it's not like there's a point in taking the dead back one, so it's fine. We can just make another one if we want. Well, it'd take the same amount of time to raise it, though.
Captain Kaidos clicks his neck and grins, showing his teeth.
That aside, what we're more interested in than the white whale's death is whoever it was and who killed it. Maybe the thing wasn't perfect, but they still killed something that was built up over 400 years of making. We've certainly entertained anticipating the uniformly ripe in-season bunch. This is much more than we could have imagined.
Nodding his head up and down, his overlong hair flying everywhere, the boy spits as he laughs. His somewhat long canines click together as he speaks.
Love, chivalry, hatred, tenacity, accomplishment, the utter satisfaction of the feeling that was for so long hoarded and piled, simmered and boiled, passing down our throat. Does gourmet banquet greater than this truly exist? Maybe not, likely not, surely not, plainly not a chance, not any chance, not a chance. It could be guzzling, gobbing, anything in that. Our heart, our stomach trembles in delight and fullness.
Nothing he's saying makes sense. Batten Kaidos keeps laughing on, unhinged. In midst of the repellent noise, Rem wordlessly shifts her gaze to Regulus, who gives a shake of his hand.
Sorry, but you realize that I have nothing to do with that guy. Me being here was complete coincidence, so wasn't the result of anything I actively did. But that's just natural, right? You ask if I craved after something like this, like he does with his hunger. Well, I possess no vulgar wants like him. I'm not of his ilk. Always tortured and starving from unquenchable hunger, right? I'm satisfied with my present self beyond any limitation.
Regulus spreads his arms out, his expression sunny. He waves those same arms, which in this exact same manner chopped off Crucia's arm in big circles, a movement emphasizing his own presence.
You see, I really hate fighting myself. If I can have my nice and ordinary, peaceful, calm, every days, then that's enough for me. There's nothing more I wish for. Unchanging, uneventful, peaceful times, and yourself. That's the absolute optimum. My hands are small and my power is none. I'm a weak existence, where you have to wonder if protecting my personal capital of me being who I personally am is truly what the best of my efforts amounts.
Regulus balls his hands into fists. One movement of those hands had cut down a carriage, several lives, and a single woman. What ridiculous remarks were these? Batten Kaidos still laughing insanely, Regulus spouting out these egotistic theories and soaked in self-satisfaction. Plainly put, both are abnormal. Yep, these guys are witch cult. Anger boils up inside Rem. She lays Crush on the grass, her breathing deep and moribund, and forces her shaking legs to stand. She takes the flail in her hands and squeezes her piddly mana reserves to summon floating pillars of ice around her. Batten Kaidos and Regulus's expressions shift.
Oh, sorry. Do you listen to what people are saying? I just told you that I don't want to do this. If you were listening and now you're doing that, then, well, that's you ignoring my opinions. That's an infringement on my rights. That's a theft of the minuscule ego, of the personal capital that I've afforded myself. That's really not something my wantless self will allow.
Have you said your piece, cultists?
Regulus looks daunted. Rem rattles the chain of her flail in threat.
One day, there will appear a hero who will destroy you assuredly. They will make you learn just how much misfortune your egotism and your self-satisfaction has brought. My beloved, only single hero.
A hero. Well then, we'll be looking forward to them too. You believe in them that much, and no question will find them delicious.
Clapping his hands, Patent Kaitos licks down and sticks out his tongue as he appraises Rem. It isn't the gaze of observing an opponent or observing a woman. The glint in his eye is unmistakably one of a ghoul lipping its chops at a dinner table. The fallen people behind Baton Kaitos' back begin to fall dim. Rem no longer knew of those people's existences or what positions they held. Why were they collapsed there? Who were they? How did they relate to her? The White Whale's fog was a nightmarish phenomenon that erased the existence of those bathed in it. Then, accordingly, the authority of gluttony held might just be...
Head servant of Margrave Roswell L. Mathers, Rem.
After she announces her position and goes to introduce herself, Rem shakes her head. Right now, at this very moment, the name she truly wishes to introduce herself is...
My single one, only dear one. My beloved eventual hero, Natsuki Subaru's companion, Rem.
A white horn spouts from Rem's forehead, collecting the abundant ambient mana and empowering her. Strength surges through her body. Her arm holding the flail flexes, the ice pillars ring incessantly as they wait. Rem opens her eyes, registering the world, feeling the atmosphere, drawing pictures of only him in her mind.
Prepare yourselves, Cardinals of Sin. My hero is coming to cast judgment upon you.
Rem swings her flail up, shooting her ice pillars off as she bounds forward. Baton Kaitos opens his fanged mouth wide.
Nice backbone. Well, time to eat.
Flash. And in that moment, Rem thinks.
I wish when he learns that I am gone, for a ripple to rise in his heart.
In her final second, merely that did Rem wish.
God damn it.
Oh,
I miss her. You guys did excellent.
Yeah, like seriously,
you.
that was really
Touchy,
good,
touchy.
everybody.
thank you.
Yeah, good job, guys.
Like Skura, you really surprised me with Lie. Like that was a
Yeah,
really
I
really
was-
good job.
Oh yeah.
I was not expecting that, like, straight off the bat.
Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah.
Why not?
I mean, I was like,
Really
oh.
You
Yeah.
really
Because
sold it,
normally you're, like,
this
really
guy-
quiet.
Yeah. Oh my
You
god.
really sold
Get
that this
hip
guy.
if I feel
He
like it.
loves, like, he's enjoying every second of this. Like, and he's so, like, the idea of hunger in your voice. Like, he's, like, grasping
Yeah.
for anything. Yeah, it's good.
I was like,
Regulus,
Yeah.
wow, okay, I'm gonna change up my narration around his parts.
Regulus narration amazing. Of course, Krush amazing. That was crazy.
Chopped off.
Chopped up!
Yeah. I,
But you got her back.
She's been
for a minute.
disarmed.
Took my arm.
You didn't have to cut me off.
my leg.
My leg.
my
You know-
leg!
She's got a flesh
Dirty.
wound.
That's a good question, Sean. Why wasn't Regulus interested in taking Crush as a wife here?
Well, okay.
Well, a woman who's not going to put up with his stuff, right? Like,
Yeah, true.
I mean, yeah, she did, like, kind of instantly try and attack him on site. Well, I guess Amelia did too.
Yeah, she does the same thing. Like he was
Exact-
watching
yeah.
the fight.
That's
I think-
true.
He's
know,
prejudiced
we-
against green hair.
That's got to be it. Yep.
It doesn't fit his
Doesn't ha-
aesthetic.
Doesn't he have green-haired wives?
I think it's
He
like
does, right?
hanky. It's a lot of pastels. I don't know if it's green
Yeah.
though.
yeah, I don't think.
That's a good
I don't
point,
think- I
actually.
don't remember there being any specific green like Crucius, actually.
Yeah.
Technically, the only
I
one
don't
ever
think-
mentioned is the blonde one.
I don't think
Yeah.
like Crush. You know, it might just be as simple as he didn't find her face appealing.
That's true.
This is really messed up to say, but
Yeah.
it could be because she dresses up like a man. He immediately is like, okay, nah. Not
Oh,
Honestly,
yeah,
that's
that
probably
makes
right.
sense,
That's
yeah.
probably exactly it.
Mm.
Yeah,
Imagine he tries to take Felix as a wife, though.
I mean, there's been funny memes made of him trying to take Natsuki Shores as
Natsume.
wife. Yeah.
my
Marry
God.
himself. Good.
I mean, if Regulus only cares about the face, then that shouldn't bother him too much.
Yeah.
True. It's not like he's actually doing anything with the wives. He just has them.
which is creepier in a way.
Yeah,
It's-
it's literally like, oh look, this is my favorite china.
Well, yeah,
These are all
it's
my
greed,
dolls.
right? Like,
See how they stare at me.
These are my statues.
because to me, it's like if Regulus did have, let's say, intercourse with his wives, that's more of gluttony, right? It's more he's indulging
lust.
himself.
Yeah, that's
Well,
lust
yeah,
or gluttony.
But
Those
lust,
are-
but also like, wait, okay, let me rephrase that. It's like when it comes to like the reason why Regulus is greedy is because it's about ownership, you know, like it's about like, you know, it's about
It's a
about
desire
appearance.
for what he already has, is typically how greed is defined for that.
yeah.
Sure, yeah,
It's like the sins. I can see what you're saying though. Like the sins aren't overlapping. Like Regulus is about holding everything
yes, yeah.
and not actually using them. Yeah,
Wants it so no one else can have it.
exactly.
It's the ultimate.
She's my wife.
objectification. Materialism at its furthest extent.
Yeah, because he sees them as objects. Yeah,
He would probably legitimately like if he had his mansion, he would have women on display in rooms alone to like walk through and look at.
But they
Yeah,
always
probably
have to be in the
underclass.
proper pose or it'll get
Yeah, they have to
ticked
be in the
when he
proper
comes
pose.
by.
Yeah, not smiling,
oh my god,
standing there.
I want to see what his mansion looks like. What does his mansion look like?
It's in the Greediff.
Oh, is it?
It is.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll have to read that. Yeah. I was kind of trying to channel a Chuck McGill from Better Call Saul.
I can see it.
Regulus.
The better.
Yeah.
Found the better. uh,
Regulus, the worst lawyer of all time.
I'm not
didn't
crazy.
someone-
I'm allowed to have all these
I'm
wives.
not-
Oh, I think you'd find best lawyer because he talks nonstop, so the opposition can never get a
True.
word
Oh,
in
yeah,
true.
edgewise.
And the people will think he's intelligent because he speaks all the time, and very
Why didn't
in a quick way.
Subaru call Saul to get Regulus and Amelia divorced?
Good question.
Yeah.
You
These
brought
are
the
questions.
Reinhardt defense though, so
Yeah.
it doesn't really
You
matter.
did.
Objection.
My name
Sean,
is Regulus Corneus. Do you know you have
100%.
rights? Constitution says you do.
Objection, Your Honor. Reinhardt.
I have a sword sign right
Okay,
here.
I
Hey.
gotta go, guys.
Oh, you have to go?
I have to head out.
Thank you so much
Yeah.
for
Thank you so
hanging.
much.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Thanks for letting me be Regulus. Oh my god, my voice.
course.
Yeah,
That was so much fun.
that was. Yeah. Thanks, guys.
Bye-bye.
Have a
Bye.
fun rest of the stream.
Bye.
Bye.
Zash, you still
Man.
good for this chapter?
Yeah.
Woohoo!
Woo.
This whole book is just a roller coaster of emotions for Rem. Like
Yeah.
he's forgotten
Yeah.
about, then obsessed over, then gets iced here. Like bad luck for Rem this whole book.
Walden.
I missed her. I missed her so much. My performance is lackluster. I can't figure out her fucking voice, but I'm just very happy that she's back.
I think you nailed it in the
Yeah.
side story.
Oh,
Yeah, the side story, it was good. It was really good.
Yay, side story.
Oh
Alright,
my
we got our
god, Sean,
cast.
that's fun.
What'd he say?
He said Reinhardt's got the divine protection of Phoenix Wright.
Oh my
For the lawyer.
god. That was good.
That's a good one.
I think all we need for this next chapter is a Wilhelm, and I was wondering if I could claim Puck.
You want Puck too?
Oh wait, if you want Puck, you take Puck.
You're gonna be.
No,
Amelia,
It's
essentially.
funny. It's funny.
She has
It's
one
funny.
line.
Being Amelia and Puck is really funny.
But I can give her up. I can give her up, or him up. Wilhelm is also needed. Who wants to be Wilhelm?
I can do Wilhelm.
Okay.
That's fine.
Hell yeah.
Oh yeah, that's perfect. No.
Teal'c, woman here is Krush,
Yes.
by the way.
I did read through and saw that. Yeah.
Automatic.
Al, you be Puck.
Woman.
You be Puck. I've had
We need
enough
a
reading.
Felix. If go,
Oh,
go come back.
yeah. I'm here.
Excuse
I
you?
did not see that you returned.
Excuse you?
So stealthy.
Hey. Yeah, Al,
Hello.
you take Puck.
Okay.
I've voice acted enough today.
I don't want to voice act anymore. I'm tired.
Tired, Grandpa.
Let me go to sleep, please.
Look, she had to be flirty and romantic with Subaru.
Yeah.
It's exhausted her.
Yeah.
That takes a lot out of him.
She's kind of cringe. It should have been me. She should have been lusting over me.
Shut up and me.
Shut up and me.
Not him.
It was so painful having to voice that because I completely forgot that was that specific part of the Reverie. I was like, oh, because I was reading ahead as I was like doing the lines. I was like, oh, no, no, no.
What do you mean that specific part? That's how they talk to each other almost the entire
it's
time.
Just, I remember
That
that
was
being.
extra.
I remember that being the most extra from my memory.
That was awkward, and we're dating. Like, I can't imagine anyone else be stuck with that.
That's funny.
Well,
I actually
make it
forgot entirely what Arc 3 Interlude was.
No, it would have
composed
been
of.
better if it was two guys. It would have been way better.
Oh, I should have been Connor Wolf.
Your Rigel was really good though, Connor. I must say.
Thank you.
It did get off the aura. Oh my god, Dad!
You were meant for that role.
Yeah, I mean, I vibe with Rigel a lot. Have a lot in common with him.
All right.
You're so embarrassing. Oh my god.
Oh my
God damn it.
Dad.
This little 7-year-old though with a mouth to rival sailors though. Holy shit.
Well, look who's raised by. Fuck.
Yeah, I was gonna say, look at his dad.
He's not much of a dad, but he is a dad.
Yeah.
Hey, it doesn't take much to become a parent.
No,
But
no.
it does become much to be a parent.
Yeah.
Yes.
That is true. All right, we ready, everybody?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, Zash, when you are ready, take us away.
Intermission. Each gives pledge. Her expression was so tranquil as she lay on the bed. Subaru could think she was just sleeping. Her eyelashes are so long. Was another idle thought of his. She usually kept her expression blank, but amidst the serenity of sleep, it filled with the softness fitting to her age. Thinking about it, Subaru had never had a chance to see her sleeping face, even once. She always woke up earlier than Subaru, and he never had a chance to go to bed later than her. Subaru knew her as a constantly resolute, keeping to her own ethic while hiding what was appropriate to her age. But even that stubborn attitude of hers was something Subaru had seen crumble before him. Her surprised expression, embarrassed expression, her sulking expression, her tearful expression, and since they had reconciled, the smile she would show him, all of which he was supposed to see many more times from now on.
Rem.
Call her name and brush her pale cheek, but she doesn't react. She wore not her familiar maid uniform, nor did her white coif decorate her pretty sky blue hair. Her outfit while working, fighting, now unnecessary.
Here.
As he passes time stagnantly in the still silent room, a voice addresses Subaru. Subaru slowly looks behind him to find a woman standing there, her long hair swaying. She wears a high-class, but not gaudy, navy blue dress as she approaches Subaru, her movements abounding with grace. But her voice betrays some confusion and hesitation, giving her an odd impression mismatched to her elegance. Subaru can't help but feel discomfort while interacting with her either.
Is she?
There have been no changes. It's not there's nothing I can do, but I'm still here. I know I'm being a vet.
Oh, I'm sure she would be delighted that you're here.
The woman says timidly to console Subaru. His head drooped, but Subaru reacts severely. He raises his head, irked by this statement, and unintentionally shoots her a glare. He hadn't meant for his gaze to be so sharp, but he couldn't keep it from turning out that way. The woman puts her hand to her.
Sorry? I said something unaccounted for. My statement hurt your feelings, I don't doubt.
No! I'm who should apologise. It was just me lashing out. I wasn't justified with that. Oh, Rem would seriously tell me off about this. Like, do you not find yourself terrible for snapping at people in this way, Subaru-kun?
Itching his shoulders, Subaru pitches his voice up as he imitates Rem's speech. He managed to copy her voice for that statement in the same manner that she spoke it in his mind, that nobody except Subaru could possibly understand. That was saddening. There was not even anybody who could point out how terrible his impersonation was for him. The woman lowers her gaze in pain at Subaru's vacant behavior and hollow voice, silent as he cradles her left arm in his right hand. A shadow falls over both of them in the silent room. Seeped in that familiar sensation, Subaru mentally shakes his head. Most likely, he can't stay like this. If he remains submerged in his dolorous sea, he could go without experiencing the pain. But that's not what Natsuki Subaru should do. Not what the man Rem believed in and loved should do, ever.
Do you have some kind of business for me?
Yes. We would like everyone to meet together to talk. We are gathering in the lounge, so if it would suit you,
The woman nods with some relief when Subaru broaches the topic, and her sentence jams halfway through, and her brows further in awkward embarrassment. Subaru notices it like,
I am Natsuki Subaru.
sorry. Natsuki Subaru-sama, it be then. I'll remember it well. I had heard my debts to you were large, and I apologize for my rudeness.
That wasn't your fault. You must presently have far too much to remember. Please, don't worry about it.
the woman bows her head apologetically. Unease stabs through Subaru's chest with every graceful, feminine action she takes. But not even Subaru is insensitive enough to mention. Shaking his head, Subaru discards both the woman's thanks and his unease as he stands up. As his final action, he turns back towards the girl laid on the bed, softly brushing away her bangs with his finger.
Well, see you later, Rem.
Breathing faintly, her body assuredly existing right here. For a girl vanished from everyone's memory, this was all that remained of herself. Turning his back to Rem, Subaru faces the woman and gestures at the door.
The lounge, right? Sorry for making you wait. Off we go then.
Yes, so let us. Natsuki Subaru-sama.
The woman tilts her head, smiling faintly. Her long green hair flows alongside the movement with hideous femininity. Loath to accept that, Subaru averts his gaze and conceals his thoughts beneath a false smile.
I apologize so much for making you fetch me, Krush-san.
Subaru says to Krush, her now seemingly a completely different person. Subaru had arrived at the royal capital after everything was already over. He barely remembered anything of his conversation on the road with Emilia. He was supposed to be filled with an accomplishment, with her sitting right at his side. But instead, that speeding carriage, all that occupied Subaru's attention was a different girl.
Who's Rem?
That was what Emilia said, head tilted, curious, and confused. If Subaru had seen even a speck of Emilia-flavored joke in her words or actions, he might have managed to go along with it and joke back. But Subaru cited not a single scrap of hope in her attitude, and Emilia didn't divulge to a stunned Subaru any intention of jesting either. Neither Petra, nor the other children, nor anyone remembered Rem. After confirming entirely that with the people in the carriage, Subaru frantically ordered the driver to speed to the capital. Something had happened. Something had to be wrong, he thought. This couldn't be happening, he believed. He'd done everything perfectly. He'd grasped the optimal path. Everyone saved, goal realized, pain and suffering and sorrow overcome. And maybe he'd taken some permanent wounds, but he had done it. But despite...
Ah, there's Subaru-kun. Just like you, Kurusama. Finding fickle kitties is exactly your speciality.
While they go down the hall to the lounge, someone spots and calls out to them. It's Fellis, his short skirt flapping, liberated from his night outfit, and his cat ears swaying. He walks over to Subaru and Krush with a spring in his step, quietly taking the stopped Krush's hand.
Felis is the one. You and Feely-chan have known each other for a long, long time, Kurusama, so I think honorifics this late are just so sad and distancing. You meanie.
Fellis gives Krush's shoulder a teasing poke with his unoccupied hand, although clearly bewildered by his incredibly close attitude. Krush fundamentally accepts it and bows her.
I'm sorry. Like it was before. Will not be easy to achieve. But I'll do my best, Felis. Yes. Felis.
No need to rush. Feely-chan is always on your side, and will be at your side forever. And getting to be together with this Mika Kurusama feels like a whole new discovery of your allure, so isn't this like happiness?
Fellis cheerily swings their entwined hands up and down. Subaru can't help but feel annoyed at it. Subaru can't understand how Felis could treat Krush exactly the same way as ever when she had changed so much. Subaru couldn't possibly suppose just what kind of conflict hid beneath Felis's smile, but even so, the obvious lack of consideration makes Subaru feel as he does.
Subaru-kun, go to the lounge. Amelia-sama and old Will are both already there.
Right.
Subaru's displeasure comes across in his voice, but Fellis doesn't pay it any mind. He urges Krush forward as he pulls her by the hand along to the lounge. Krush's brows furrow in confusion at the strange atmosphere between Fellis and Subaru, but ultimately she follows after Fellis without saying anything. Sighing, Subaru bites his lip and closes his eyes. Irascible, his emotions, while speaking with anyone right now, are entirely volatile. He doesn't want to console himself with any, well, that's inevitable. He absolutely does not want to make his volatility their fault or her fault. He follows after Krush and Fellis, entering the lounge behind them. Feeling a bunch of eyes on him, Subaru gives the room a look over. Inside are Amelia and Wilhelm, and now Krush, Fellis, and himself. This is probably going to be everyone. Subaru closes the door behind them, and without any urging, naturally seats himself beside Amelia.
Subaru?
I'm fine! I'm all calm now, Amelia-tan. I am fine.
He answers to Amelia's concerned call with a small smile, but he does not turn towards her and is unable to look at her directly. He has a feeling that if he interacts with Amelia right now, he'll openly expose his unpleasant side. The prospect terrifies him.
Meow. Everyone important here. Looks like time to have our talk.
Phyllis claps his hands to get everyone's attention as he breaks the ice. With Krush currently unable to take the role as lead, Phyllis has to be the one to inherit it. He glances over everyone seated, him alone stepping to the front with his hand raised.
Seems no objections, so right on ahead. Meow, shall we go over the situation?
He says, smiling, opening up the proceedings which everyone desires. What happened to Rem and Krush was incredibly simple. They had been attacked by two cardinals of sin simultaneously. Half of the returning White Whale subjugation squad died in the attack. The Beastman mercenary squad had opted for an immediate retreat and escaped trouble.
They say that by the time the vice chairs brought along a squad of knights from the capital and returned to the highway, both the Cardinal of Sins were gone. What was still there were the corpses of our knights. And
same circumstances as me.
Krush bites her lips and furrows her brow. The anguish arising in her expression likely comes from her own feeling of fecklessness. Since, either way, she can only think of the event as something not personally relevant to herself. That being because
A memory has been erased, it seems. Do you believe this was also the Cardinal's doing?
more than likely, yep. I've seen patients with the same symptoms as you before, Kusama. The person's memories all suddenly erased, and Feely Chan's magic not working to fix it. The cause has been unknown all of this time until now, but...
The Cardinal of Gluttony. Witnessing that authority, there's little doubt.
Wilhelm gives a grave nod, a sharp gleam in his eyes as he stares at Krush. She flinches at the severity.
My apologies. I bear no ill toward you, Krush-sama. That I have frightened you is inexcusable. I yet have much to learn.
Oh, I'm the one who should apologize for being an inadequate master. I will do my best to remember you as well, Wilhelm-sama.
A faint look of pain turns over Wilhelm-sama's expression, probably from seeing the pathetic state of the master to whom he devoted his sword, and from his feelings of responsibility and shame for not having protected her. It's only because he is experiencing similar emotions that Subaru divines the old man's true feelings. The one he doesn't understand here is Phyllis, who has shown no special reaction to the transformation in his master. Phyllis perfectly ignores Subaru's contemplation as he goes on.
So impossible to believe that just when we're done cleaning up Cardinal of Sloth, instantly here's gluttony and greed. Don't they know there's a limit for how hardworking you can be? Well, it's unusual to see so many witch cults getting so active at the same time, but no doubt it happened because of some exceptional event, like Amelia Sama getting all famous.
Me?
Amelia looks at Phyllis in surprise. He nods, swaying his body to and fro.
I mean, would the witch cult ever possibly overlook half-elf Amelia Sama's presence? They're usually so quiet and hidden, it's creepy. So if they're making a huge fuss, of course it's gonna be related to that.
As he listens to Phyllis' explanation, Subaru crosses his arms and thinks back on a prior conversation. The night before the White Whale battle, Subaru had spoken with Phyllis and Krush about the possibility of the witch cult showing up, to which they had responded affirmatively. They likely reached that conclusion because there were precedences for it.
I don't really know that much about the witch cults, but the witch means witch of envy, right?
Then Amelia nervously raises her hand and fires off that amazing statement. Subaru doubts his own ears, and even Wilhelm and Phyllis' expression stiffen. The only ones not surprised here are Amelia and, equally out of the loop, Krush. Further intimidated by this reaction,
I'm sorry. I can tell from everyone's reactions that it's something that I need to know, but no one told me about it. I'm being honest.
But you have to know about the Witch of Envy. I mean, when we
met, Amelia introduced herself under the alias of Satella, and when Subaru pissed her off in the following loop by calling her that. So she knew about the Witch of Envy, and that her name was taboo. But Amelia shakes her.
In the villages near the forest where I lived, people disliked me because I looked like the Witch of Envy. So I think I understand how the Witch of Envy is treated. But about the people in the witch cults, it's...
Now, let's say here's where we drop the topic of just what kind of life Amelia Sama's had. But anyway, that she's like this, sure, is such a dismal state of affairs.
Phyllis shrugs and raises his hand, sighing. The sarcastic attitude annoys Subaru, who clicks his tongue and glares at Phyllis.
How about you stop with that? Have you ever considered how brave you have to be to admit you don't know something? What's wrong about asking something essential?
Certainly is persuasive when it's you saying it. Sure, seriously, master and servant alike.
Phyllis doesn't hide his sarcasm, even at Subaru's irritation. This one is liable to set Subaru off.
Feel it. I cannot ignore how you're acting. Apologize.
Krush gets in before Subaru or Phyllis, her weak expression completely overturned into something dignified and sharp, like her former self. Her gaze shoots through her nut.
Subaru-sama is entirely correct. There's nothing laughable about someone asking about things they don't know. You have no right to mock it. You understand.
Yes, Kusama.
A softness comes at the end of her stern statement. Neither Subaru or Phyllis can hide their surprise at this fragment of the old Krush showing through.
Amelia-sama, I apologize for my impoliteness. Subaru-kyun, Sawi.
No, never mind. Anyway, so, let's discuss the Witch's Cult. Amelia Tun's interested in hearing too, and honestly, I don't know the details of them either.
Got it.
Phyllis puts his finger to his lips, and with the ends of his skirt.
First, just as Amelia-sama has stated, the Witch Cult is a group which worships the Witch of Envy. They're purebred, religious crazies who've been active since the witch first showed up 400 years ago. They're such a malevolent bunch that the knights have regulations to slaughter them on sight.
Slaughter them on sight? They're people. Who could warrant that awful order?
They'll casually go antagonize village, towns, if it's for their goals. The village near the Margrave's mansion was in real danger this time too. You realize that a city in the Empire of Valakia in the south was destroyed by one of the cardinals that showed up just now.
Amelia blinks in disbelief. Although he agrees with her reaction, Subaru already knows of the horrors of the witch cult so well, it has sunken into his flesh and bones. You could probably use Beetlejuice as a precedent to judge the strangeness of the rest of them. Although, from what he had heard of greed, he straight surpasses comparison to the combat force Subaru used to fight Beetlejuice.
The conversation kind of derailed there, but the witch called Six Cardinals, titled as the Deadly Sins, they're what you'd call the leaders of the organization. Each of them bears the name of a deadly sin from the six witches who aren't the Witch of Envy.
6 witches. Sloth, greed, gluttony, lust, wrath, and pride, right?
Yes, there you go. The really famous ones are sloth and greed. Like I said before, greed's famous for decimating a city. Conversely, sloths became known because the witch cults kick up a fuss. It's usually him. But as for sloth, the efforts of our subjugation squad has been a resounding success. Is about where it is now, right, Suberkin?
Yeah, Pedal-Geese of Sloth is definitely dead. I watched him disperse, so there's no mistaking that.
Nodding at Phyllis, Subaru thinks back on detested Beetlejuice's last moment. Loathing overflowing in a shriek of Subaru's name. He couldn't get it out of his head. A curse of enmity in that scream. Perhaps that was what had spurred his present cruel fate.
There's 5 Cardinals of Sin left. 2 are the bastards who attack Kusama and the others. The witch cult are elusive, and their methods for keeping themselves hidden when they're being inactive are completely unknown. 400 years have gone by without progress in eradicating them. Their goal is to restore the Witch of Envy, would be what people say.
Restore the witch?
Subaru's chair clatters at the force in which he stood up. This startles Amelia and Krush, and while giving him a big swing of his arm.
Restoring? Is that even seriously possible? The Witch of Envy's been dead for 400 years, yeah? Bringing that back to life would be...
Subaru Dono. The Witch of Envy is not dead. Its life even now is extant at the edge of the world, albeit being a rather irritating situation.
Subaru's eyes shoot open in surprise as he looks to Wilhelm. His face is grave as he narrows his eye.
Near the Great Cascade is the Shrine of the Sealing Stone. The witch is presently sealed there, regrettably not completely destroyed. Not even the power of the Sage and the Dragon and the Sword Saint were capable of destroying its existence completely.
Seal? No. Actually, I think I have heard of this. But then, it just turns into a question of why bother with restoration when they could just destroy the shrine? Why haven't they done that?
If the witch is sealed, breaking the seal should be enough. Subaru doesn't understand the witch cult's objective. Going around slaughtering and destroying everything, whenever a half-elf shows up.
Firstly, to approach the shrine is near impossible. The activity of mana around the Great Cascade is remarkably poor. Being in the midst of that, there is no one who can withstand the witch's miasma at the shrine. Further, it is impossible to physically bypass the Sage's watchtower.
Sage?
Sage Shala, a hero alongside the first Sword Saint and the Holy Dragon Volcanica, who aided in sealing the witch. Even now she remains secluded near the Great Cascade, inside Pleiades' watchtower. Although to say secluded is entirely a name, the truth being that she keeps a watchful eye to ensure there is no one around plotting to restore the witch.
She sure has lived a while.
This sage's longevity kinda tugs at Subaru, but he decides to leave that aside for now. He glances back at
Alright, so yeah, I get why the witch can't be dragged out of there. But if that's all, then this doesn't feel too relevant to that stuff about restoring the witch.
You can say that, but since Feely-chan isn't a witch cultist, I really don't know the truth of it. All I can do is interrogate or torture captives and hope they spill something useful.
Subaru feels dissatisfied at Felis's uninformative response, but considering what he just said, decides not to press him any further.
So, that's what it is. Then that's why But Puck never said anything about that.
What's Puck saying now? I kind of have a mounting of things to talk about with him.
He isn't answering my calls. It feels like he's materialized, but all I can tell is that he's nearby.
Subaru can't even tell her that it's alright. It's essential that Subaru talk with Puck, because Puck's statements could have had an influence on Subaru's inability to anticipate the arrival of the Cardinal of Glut.
So, let's put this stuff about the witch cult as about done there. Now, with that over, I'd say it's about time we talk about something we're doing from here on out.
Here on out?
Phyllis claps his hands to grab attention and nods at Subaru, his expression awfully sunny.
Honestly, about our alliance? How about we cancel?
The atmosphere in the lounge freezes as Subaru's insides conversely grow hotter. He takes the sentence he had just heard, scrutinizes it. His tongue wets his lips before he replies in a quiet voice.
What did you just say? Dissolve the alliance? What are you plotting?
Only what I said. After all, barely feels like there's any benefit to us keeping the alliance going.
Phyllis looks rather impressed that Subaru neglected to fly into a rage. Even this Subaru, as sternly orders himself to keep calm. That said, he cannot keep his mind from seething.
Never mind the mining rights or whatever. We agreed on this, over helping subjugate the white whale, and we did do it. Grabbing just the good bits and saying bye-bye is a damn scandal no matter how you put it.
The cons have gotten too large, Subaru-kin.
Oh?
Subaru has to feel belligerent, but Phyllis's demeanor isn't crumbling. He wags a finger.
Right. With the Cardinals of Gluttony and Greed showing up as the president, it's highly likely the witch cult are coming to bother your faction, which defeated Sloth. And when this affair left Kusama injured like this, do you think anyone want to stay involved with you?
That's...
Subaru's face twists as he glances at Krush. He hesitates to outright deny Phyllis's statement, being that Subaru himself is surrounded by the same injury. So, the one who speaks the objection isn't Subaru.
I do not agree with that view, Phyllis.
Phyllis narrows his eyes, smiling thin.
Oh. Now, what could he be planning here? Gluttony injured Kusama this much, and staying in an alliance with Amelia-sama associates us with the witch cult. The benefit of this is...
It shall give us an opportunity to avenge our master. Towards gluttony.
And is that more important than Kusama's life?
Neither are backing down. Both feel something for their master, giving their words weight.
If we keep being involved with the cult, things like this will happen. And Kusama can't protect herself right now. Philly-chan will heal both your wounds and her mind. But if she dies, you realize it's all over.
However, we should not be capable of allowing the perpetrators behind this to flee from under our nose. Furthermore, Kusama's memories may return if we defeat the Cardinal. For us to withdraw would indeed be imprudent.
They'll come back if we defeat who did it? What are you saying, old Will? Oh, the memories will return if we kill the person who ate them. Sure you haven't been reading too many fairy tales or dreaming.
Felix!
Wilhelm's sharp roar sweeps through the room, feeling truly as if a storm had raged through. Everyone flinches in surprise. Wilhelm's gaze remains sharp.
Felix, never say those words before Subaru Dono again.
I'm sorry.
Having his real name called twice, even Phyllis casts his eyes down in gloom. The person Phyllis gaze hands on is Subaru, who is again seated and now looking down. His hands grasped hard enough to draw blood and shaking minutely. White fingers quietly come down from above, covering his hand.
Amelia-tan?
I'm not going to say it's okay, as if I understand. I want you to understand how you're feeling, Subaru. But I think it'd be nothing but unfair for me to say anything when I forgot her and I don't know anything about her.
Amelia's amethyst eyes waver with sorrow, seeing himself reflected in her gaze, and not knowing that she was seeing the exact same feeble-looking Natsuki Subaru makes Subaru get aggravated at himself. Finding solace in her concern for that Subaru, he shakes his
I won't say that I'm okay, but I am okay for now. Don't worry about it. Phyllis, I haven't thrown away even a fragment of hope.
You really are just so terrible at giving up, Subaru-kun.
It doesn't bother me, is Subaru's facade as Felix goes back to grinning and acting the way he was before.
Feli-chan is not in favor of continuing the alliance. Feli-chan will definitely get Kusama's memories back, so it's fine to ignore getting revenge on Gluttony.
What we should do, and what we will do, is still entirely determined by Kusama's judgment. For us to brashly make decisions on our own makes for no good circumstance.
This is the only point of common ground the two are going to get. They both look to Krush. She gives a firm.
Lee, I still don't understand anything. I cannot remember a single thing about my former self. I believe all of you must be uncertain as to how to approach me. But first, I give my thanks to all for giving me their esteem. If I am able, I wish to answer to your expectations. I will endeavor to achieve that.
Even without her memories, Krush Karsten remains resolute. To what extent must a person mature persist within their core? To what extent must a person's nature persist within their core? Seeing her like this, despite the loss of her memories, makes the question unavoidable.
Either way, the one who could know the circumstances of Amelia-sama's faction properly for a business-type conversation would have to be Margrave Roswell. First, let's prepare a meeting place for us to talk with the Margrave too, and put this off for that.
Yeah, that's fine. So then, about what happened?
Don't you say a single word. That alone's something to protect, separate from the Alliance talk.
Says Fellis, his voice low and gaze sharp as he stares at Subaru. Subaru swallows his breath, but has no reason to object to Fellis's request and nods. It's a natural decision for Fellis. If news about this leaked to the public, Krush would definitely lose her position as the present frontrunner in the royal selection, which is why Anastasia's faction hasn't been brought in for this present.
Never mind Julius. Anastasia-sama would definitely utilize the circumstances. Good thing they didn't see what Krish-sama's condition was,
We'll need to talk with them when discussing our achievements. What are you going to do then?
Philly-chan will say that Krish-sama is in an acceptable physical condition and manage something. All your group has to do, Subaru-kun, is stay quiet. Understand?
There's nothing more I request, or rather, there's no further entanglements with this I will forgive, is Fellis's stubborn attitude. Subaru can only nod. Ultimately, things end without any sight of a future developments for the two uneasy factions.
Thank you for just then, Wilhelm-san.
With the discussion over, Subaru calls out to Wilhelm just after leaving the room. Wilhelm stops and turns to face Subaru.
No. I'm entirely ashamed for my inability to aid you significantly, and my inexperience. Again, in this affair, I was unable to be of help.
That is not true. We wouldn't have defeated the White Whale without you, Wilhelm-san, or have been able to leave Emilia-tan and the rest unattended without worries. I'm grateful.
Subaru speaks with complete sincerity, but Wilhelm's expression doesn't clear. His personality is an unfortunate one, where his sense of duty means he winds up shouldering others' pain. Again, an extraordinary kind of person. Subaru gives him a smile.
I know things haven't settled down, but will you be going to visit your wife's grave? I won't say that it will relieve you, but at least since her enemy was slain.
Wilhelm's expression collapses, complex emotions raising to the fore. Subaru is nothing but confused. Noticing Subaru's bewilderment, Wilhelm gives him a big bow.
I must apologize to you, Subaru Dono.
Wait, please, stop. If this is about what just happened, then all I have for you is thanks, Wilhelm-san.
No, that is not the case. I did not ally with your side while considering you, Subaru Dono. I propose to continue the alliance due to shallow, selfish sentiments. My shamelessness in concealing this, I now find shameful.
Subaru knits his brows, not understanding what Wilhelm's saying. Wilhelm rights himself from the bow, takes off his jacket and rolls up his sleeve. Wrapped around his left arm, near the shoulder, is a bandage. The thing is stained red with blood. The wound may still be open.
It looks painful, but if you're wounded, we could have Felis heal it quickly.
This wound will not heal. This is a cut from a slash adorned with the blessing of the Reaper, which leaves unhealing wounds upon the opponent.
It won't heal, but then, Wilhelm-san!
If a wound doesn't stop bleeding, then it essentially means your life is on a time limit. Subaru knows this, but while Subaru panics, Wilhelm calmly shakes his head.
My life, as of now, is not in question.
But that can't be correct. What do we do? That wound's...
This is not a wound I sustained today or yesterday. I sustained it considerably prior, and now it is merely reopened. This is a rather large matter for me.
Subaru begins trembling, teeth clattering, and realizes that the cause of this gut-chilling bloodlust overflowing from Wilhelm, who speaks quietly.
The effects of the blessing of the Reaper compound the closer the inflictor is to the inflicted. If you approach the one who administered the wound, it will reopen. That is what such wounds are.
Then, somewhere nearby, the one who gave you that old wound is...
The one who gave me this injury to my left arm was the previous generation's sword saint.
Subaru's breath catches. Wilhelm's eyes flare with emotion cold enough to freeze.
Teresia von Estrella. My wife's sword cut has reopened. In order to verify this, I must continue in following connections to the witch's cult.
In a situation teeming with bewildering things, Subaru winds up going back to Rem's sleeping room. Ever since he got back to Krusha's mansion, whenever he had any time he'd find himself here at her side, he is weak enough to hope that, although he knows that it won't happen, she may possibly wake up. Subaru's not brave or spirited enough to face Amelia in his current mood, and Amelia must understand that Subaru feels hopeless. She knows that being with him would only hurt him, and is giving him his time alone unless he requests otherwise, even though she must be jittery too. Again, he was imposing on other people's cares, attempting to pacify his weakness. Although he detests that weakness, he has no rationalizations to defend himself. He is here.
You told me I'm strong, but if I'm not with you, my bravado just disappears, Rem.
Rem's condition hasn't changed the slightest bit since before he went to the lounge. She is breathing, her heart is beating, but there are no other signs of life. She is here, but not. Now she only exists inside Subaru. Yet...
What a twist it is to see you here.
Is it really so strange for me to be here? I would have known her too. So, she'll be fine for me to wander in and take a look.
How could you dare say that?
While touching sleeping Rem's forehead, Subaru glares at the long-tailed gray cat. That spirit, who had hidden away during the talk in the lounge, had been here in this place inspires nothing but discomfort. Subaru's sharp glare makes Puck reply sadly.
Why are you glaring like that? Did I do something?
I'm sure you did nothing this time. Emilia Tam was looking for you. You really think it's fine to be hanging around in here?
If you're gonna ask if it's fine, then that's a bit tricky. It isn't as though Leah restricts my freedoms, but if you're asking if I wanted to upset her, then no, I didn't.
Mutters Puck jovially as he rubs his beard.
But
Puck approaches Subaru's face.
for now, I thought it was best I speak with you, Subaru.
Watching you acting like you're seeing through everything's pissing me off.
Subaru clicks his tongue and averts his gaze, but Puck just waits quietly. Subaru sighs, and although loath to go along with Puck's plans,
You didn't teach Emilia about the witch's cult. For what aim?
Aims have nothing in it. If it's something you can live without knowing, then isn't it fine to not know it? I would have answered if she asked, but Leah never really did. If it's better to not be involved with them, then don't you think it's better to not be involved?
Sure. What'd be best is somewhere where she's fine not knowing, with no reason for them to know about her, so they won't get involved with her. But Emilia's not like that now. She left the forest, and she's in a national contest to become ruler, so it's inevitable she would run into them, and you must have known that.
Subaru speaks with his voice low and menacing, but Puck easily lets it wash off, just floating.
I did predict that the witch cult would show up, but I'd say that whether or not I tell that to Leah's another topic.
But it could have let Emilia and those around her avoid danger. I don't know what you're thinking, but what would have happened here, and when you just leave Emilia?
I see, so you must have worked hard to save Leah. And this girl was a sacrifice for saving Leah. Well then, I'll have to thank her.
That instant, Subaru's thoughts ignore everything and divert entirely to slamming out a fist. With not a shred of hesitation, he drives the fist at Puck with all the force he can muster, but Puck easily avoids Subaru's strike, looking confused.
That was pretty shocking all of a sudden. What happened?
Never touch Rem again. Not your hands or mouth.
Subaru's voice is so quiet that it surprises himself. His emotions are overboiled. He might even be acting insane. Puck stares at Subaru, eyes wide.
Got it.
Puck stretches.
I apologize for the careless words. Sorry. Said something I shouldn't have. I don't know if this will make up for it, but we could talk about gluttony for a minute.
What'll happen if I hear it?
I think if you know that this girl's someone whose name and memories have been eaten, then maybe you'll be more likely to get what you're after, Subaru.
Subaru's head jerks back up. Puck nods at that reaction, his nose twitching as he looks up, searching his memory.
Putting gluttony's authority in simple terms, it's the power to eat. Eating the person's name robs the other people's memories of them, while eating the person's memories robs their own memory. If both are stolen, all that's left is an empty husk. Husks can't do anything, and nothing happens to them. That girl lines up just exactly.
Name and memories.
Rush had her memories eaten. Rem had both. These were the damages that were a result of that authority.
Well, defeating the Cardinal of Gluttony, bring them back?
Now, who knows? Puking back what they've eaten is a pretty gross way to say it, but I wonder if it's possible. Would have to ask the eaters themselves on that one, though.
But there's a chance. It's there. A chance to bring back Rem.
Subaru glances back. Rem's still there, deep in sleep. She's breathing, her heart is beating, her body is alive. The demon had only consumed her name and spirit, so there's hope.
I am obliterating the Cardinal of Gluttony.
I don't think that's a good word to be using.
Subaru doesn't pay Puck's words any mind. Subaru's final stronghold is to cling to that hope. When Subaru returned to the capital, he heard about the attack on Rem's group, saw her condition, and learned that there wasn't any way to bring her back. Subaru unhesitatingly stabbed himself through the throat with a dagger. He couldn't remember what he felt back then. He'd achieved everything in the optimum way, answered everyone's expectations with all he had, and he felt absolutely no reluctance about losing it. If he was going to lose Rem, if he was heading towards a future without her, then he'd undergo the suffering no matter how many times it'd take. That much he did remember. Stabbed his throat, and with the blood and the pain and the heat and the loss, he felt the sensations of himself departing. When it cleared, what Subaru saw before him was the bed where Rem lay. The respawn point had updated. The point to redo had changed. Subaru had been thrust into hell. Thinking that something must be wrong, Subaru went to commit suicide once more, but hesitated. It wasn't that he was afraid of pain or death, it was simply that he had realized it. Even if he hypothetically went back to the previous respawn point, Subaru couldn't save Rem. If he went back to the point before the fight with Betelgeuse, after the fight with the White Whale, then he would had already had time pass since he split up with Rem. He could try and catch up to her group, but he wouldn't make it in time, and most importantly, retreating to save Rem would be throwing away Amelia. And how would returning and properly explain the situation give any strategies for being the two cardinals? Subaru and Julius were essential for fighting Betelgeuse. Amelia couldn't escape from the mansion and the highway unscathed without Wilhelm. If he was going to save Rem, then Amelia. If he was going to save Amelia, then Rem. If he didn't make the respective sacrifice, he couldn't save either. Because he realized what a cruel choice it was. The hand going to foster Subaru's suicide stopped before the dagger pierced his throat. Different from within the White Whale fog, Rem's body is right there, but nobody remembers her. And there's Subaru, at her side, dumbstruck and unable to do anything. This pathetic, hopeless hour ends here. He will end it here. Subaru takes Rem's hand, resolving himself. This time, definitely, he resolves himself. No matter what, am going to
Bring you back, Rem. No matter what. I'll bring you back.
Subaru had told her that he'd show her the man she loved, become the ultimate hero. So, would he not still be midway through his course?
No matter what, your hero will, no matter what, come to get you. Be waiting for me.
Raises his head, bares his teeth, pronounces war on the enemy. He will make them regret touching what shouldn't be touched, encroaching on what shouldn't be encroached. And it'd be no man other than Natsuki Subaru.
No matter what! No matter what!
He couldn't bear his memories of the days starting from zero being ones without her. No matter what, bring it back. Bring back the days he lost, the hours they lived together, the hours they would live together. Once again, his hands would reel everything back in, unfailingly.
Woo!
Clap, clap, clap.
We
Clap,
got
clap, clap, clap,
this.
clap.
Congrats.
Okay.
Yay.
All that.
Huzzah.
Huzzah!
What
Well done,
a
everyone.
day. Well done, well done. Woo! Interlude is over. How's everyone feeling?
Cannot believe how much they dropped in this compared to the light novel and anime version.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I was in Psychoultrist's stream last night, and they went over, or we pulled out like the world map, and then he was like, "Wait, what is this? What's this witch seal? What's the watchtower? Wait, guys, was this ever mentioned?" And people were saying it's spoilers, but apparently it was just cut. So
Yeah. I was like, holy shit, there's so much stuff that literally talks about what we're about to go through.
So
exactly.
The specific reason this was cut in the light novel, from what I remember, is there's just no logical reason why they should know this information.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, they would know about the tower and that's
They
where
would
the
know
witch
about the tower,
is
but
the
they
miasma.
wouldn't mention it because they wouldn't really know who was responsible until Puck tells Subaru who is, right?
Yeah.
Well, they had the
and,
argument
like,
here that the Iron Fang fled the scene immediately after hearing who they were. He just removed that in the other version, had everyone
everyone slaughtered.
fucked
Yeah.
up.
Yeah.
Which makes Anastasia's group less of a antagonist here of, oh, there's actual danger, we're going to leave even though we're here to escort them back.
Run!
Oh,
I mean, like
man.
even the Teresia drop this early.
Oh
is...
yeah, that
Yeah,
is a straight up cut that they did. Yeah.
Yeah.
In the anime, mind you, not in the light novel.
Because I don't think it's. Has it even been mentioned that he has that wound in the anime at all? I don't think it has.
Yes,
it's been inferred.
It has?
Mhm.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, when he's holding
His shoulder. Yeah.
his shoulder
Ah, okay.
in the basement. I think there's even some blood.
It's just there's no direct conversation about it, so it's more subtle
Yeah.
foreshadowing, but it's still there at least.
The cuts are brutal. Jeez.
Mm-hmm.
It's also difficult to track, like, cuts from web novel to light novel, and then cuts from light novel to anime, and then additional things they've added in that were kind of inspired by the web novel that's not in the light novel. It's just like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Like, I just hope it doesn't reach a point where the plot goes in a direction that is reliant on stuff from the web novel that isn't in any of the other two.
Well, at the point where he's adapting now, the amount of changes from web novel to light novel are mostly just pacing, reorganizing some stuff, and cutting out extra scenes that don't really add anything to it.
Yeah. Like he's at the current point there aren't too many actual differences between the light novel and the web novel. He's just maintaining the slight differences in the continuity of the web novel in comparison to the light novel, if that makes sense.
Yeah, and like even then, once a light novel comes out, he defaults to that canon. So, like, say what light novel for Arc 5, that's going to be what Wilhelm assumes that it's the first time he's mentioning this.
It's very much a rough draft, the web novel, eh?
Less so than it used to be, but
Yeah,
it
that's
still
true.
is. Like, you, me, and Gold have dealt with some of the stuff that definitely got left on the cutting room floor for Arc 7.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, this feels very much like that, honestly. A lot of it's good stuff, but it also feels kind of drawn out, right?
Yeah.
I like the
Like,
difference for the Felix, Wilhelm, and
Yeah, that was an interesting
conversation,
dynamic.
though.
I was actually expecting to be like, okay, I'm gonna have to cry, and then I was like, no, I guess not.
No, but yeah, that's I think the big moment that's missing, because you got Subaru's anger, but they also mentioned that he didn't actually hurt himself as well.
No, he did.
He did.
Okay, he did.
It says that he got there, saw her, and instantly stabbed himself. He
Yeah.
didn't even hesitate.
But then he hesitated after. Yeah, okay.
Well, it's because it put him in the same spot.
Same
His
spot.
respawn point wasn't at the Who's Rem. It was in the same chair. Like, I mean, honestly, thanks Satella, because otherwise he probably would have tried to stop it.
Yeah. And
That's kind of a kindness.
He would have like thrown himself at the same wall over and over again.
Yeah, I mean, like, that's what it implies in the anime, because Subaru says, no matter how many times I try, I
as
never
many
make it
times
to
as
you.
takes.
Yeah.
Also, I mean, just, this is more confirmation that Puck is the worst, right?
Oh yeah, Puck
Puck
is
is-
just.
oh,
I
man.
hate Puck so much.
I was trying to like get a grasp on how I should read the lines, and I'm just like, wait, he sounds like a dick right now. He does not care.
Yeah, there's a lot of times where Puck's talking and he just sounds evil. You know,
this guy just does
It's
not
just what
sound
happens
like he
when you care
understands
about
human
one
expression.
person and one person only. Unfortunately.
Yeah, the Roswell mentality,
Yeah,
or the
exactly.
Echidna mentality.
Yeah.
But he's not even, like, caring and being with her in, like, a reasonable way. Like, there's this really intense conversation, and he's actively hiding from it. Like, Amelia even says, I can sense that he's not in the stone, but he isn't here right now either.
Yeah.
It's weird, because I think it's like he mainly cares to the extent that she's alive.
It's the same. It's
If
the same
anything-
with Roswell. It's like, if there's life, there's hope. It doesn't matter if they are living life fulfillingly or not, or knowing the whole truth, or being prepared for life. Because
Which just
you can
comes from them being trained by Echidna.
Yeah, exactly.
Because like you look to Greedif too, and with that Echidna mentality, it's like, yeah, Amelia's alive, but is she happy? Yeah.
Is she even like alive in a human sense?
Yeah,
I don't
is
know.
she alive at that point?
In the Greedif? Yeah, she is.
No,
It's not like he got her into the... Yeah.
I just mean that there's just like something broken.
Well, it's because she didn't move on past her past in that instance. Subaru got her around it. But yeah, I mean, we'll have to change the thumbnail for this one to Arc 3 Interludes instead, but
Instead of chapters 1 to 3.
yeah, I'm glad we went through this. I was kind of holding my breath for the side story, kind of knowing what was coming, so that was still funny to have you two
That
deal
was,
with that.
that was funny.
Yeah, I didn't
You
didn't
freaking
realize that.
frick!
To be fair, it's like it's interesting because it honestly feels for the first time that Tappei was probably thinking like, wait, people are interested in this larger story that I'm telling. So he's like, here's the side content here. What's it gonna be? And he just threw a bunch of stuff out.
I know
And now
all
we're
of
getting
you
side
really
content.
liked this extra character that I threw in to make Arc 3 easier to write.
Exactly.
And I'm about to remove her from the story for years and years. So here's a little snippet to keep you all held over on Subaru's birthday.
Was it like 7 to 8 years?
A spoiler amount of years that she either is or was gone.
True.
Wait, did he confirm that Rum was just there to make it easier to write?
Well, she wasn't in his initial draft.
Yeah, she wasn't in his initial draft.
Yeah, no, she was added.
He's like the twin characters, twin main
That's
characters.
amazing.
My Sheila.
Well, it was that, and at the point where, like, imagine you are him and you're kind of writing Subaru's story through Arc 3. It's not like you're going to have Julius give Subaru the frontier speech.
there's
He
no
needed
one that can
someone
pick him
there
up.
to give him help, yeah.
Like he wrote Subaru getting beaten down all the way, and it was like, okay, how does he get up after this one?
There's no way to get up without outside help.
There's no one for him. There's no one here for him.
Like, whoops, almost wrote myself in the corner. We'll just fix that.
It's that, or he was like drafting out his initial plot for it, and he gets to realizing, okay, and then here's where I introduce Betelgeuse, and he's going to torture Subaru's beloved right in front. I can't do that to Amelia. I don't have the ability to torture Amelia myself. New girl.
This one.
Here's a
she'll
girl
take
introduced, so I can torture her.
Mm-hmm.
Whipping
She's
child,
Amelia's
get in
small
there.
guy.
Exactly.
And we love
Even
Ren for it.
when Amelia suffers, she doesn't really suffer on screen. So
No, she suffers off screen.
Yeah.
Literally in the anime.
she's literally never dying on screen. It's crazy.
Well, yeah. Like,
Well,
you see her
yeah.
immediately before and immediately after dying, but not
Yeah.
as it actually
The
happens.
process.
Like the action.
That's apparently
Meanwhile,
that pushes to-
Subaru, it's like, get up in close there. Show all that. Get it.
He has said in a Q&A he refuses to do it. He cannot do it.
It's too much for him.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
the
she's the
reason
one who's
he's
created
writing
the
the
story
story in
around.
the first place is for Amelia, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
it's the story of because he just wanted to write about Amelia.
Vaultsu, I think Puck does care about Betty to a degree, but he's not going, like, he's shown that he doesn't go out of his way to help her.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They were both tools manufactured for a purpose. Thus, they have a very disparate feelings about what they are. So they then go ahead and isolate themselves, even though eventually, every once in a while when they're together, they have a cute moment. Otherwise, it's not really a thing that they think about.
Well, because, like, Beatrice grabs him and then asks if it's okay
Yeah.
that he plays with her for a while. It's not like he ever seeks out Beatrice.
Yeah, he's
It's
more a tool than Beatrice is, because Beatrice had a life with other people at one point.
Yeah, like Beatrice found a way out of just being a tool.
Sean, no, she's just very determined.
healthy relationships aren't very common
No.
in this world, huh?
Mm-mm.
At least
Nope.
not until we get to the certain point we get to.
I mean, I
Sean.
think they do have a healthy relationship in the Remif, but that's just me.
I mean,
I
They're very dependent
That-
on each other.
yeah, the
it's a
healthiest I've
codependency, I feel.
Yeah, but it's like the problem is that it's I don't know, like it just it feels a bit too codependent.
It should be me.
It does in this, but, like, the actual one that's built up to with, like, the whole Zarestia story and
Yeah,
like
that's
the relationship they build
Yeah.
with Hannibal and the community. That the one that he actually used for several years of like, hey, I'm going to celebrate this holiday every year.
Mhm.
This one is early and very much still the Rem that faked her death to convince Subaru to admit his
Yeah.
feelings to her.
Yeah, this is like 6 months in, so this isn't like this can't compare to years and having raised children.
hmm Well, even like just Tappei's writing of Rem here is still like having her as the one that's like a little nuts,
She's a little mental ill.
a little, yeah, just a tad.
Bit of mental illness.
RMI, Rem mentally ill.
Perhaps that will change in the future.
I hope so. More Rem.
More Rem content.
Woo! All right, I think we should wrap up this live. We'll chat with our team for a little bit, but we've been going for almost 3.5 hours. First time back. Woohoo!
Yeah, welcome
to the
back.
mines.
Get back to the mine, kids.
Get in there.
Never forget you're here
We have all
forever.
yearned for the mines.
The
children
year.
yearn.
We need the coal to keep us warm.
I don't
Thank you,
want to go back to
everyone.
the mine.
For attending our first live reading in 5 ever. We're going to do a couple more with Arc 4 until we get to our anniversary stream, March 15th, where we'll switch over to Arc 6. Woohoo! Thank you,
Woo!
everyone. All right.
So long.
Goodbye.